Welcome out to Kojaks Live with those cards. As the table starts to begin to fill in, we have started our Saturday night live at Kojaks. 5 on the button, no limit hold'em, buying $500 to $1,000 or 70% of the largest stack. We'll start to see that start to be invoked as we roll along through the evening. We've also got welcome out to Kojaks. Happy birthday, Clyde Hinton. Today is Clyde's first heavenly birthday, and all of us here at Kojaks are doing what he loved most. We're celebrating his birthday, playing poker. He enjoyed that. So tonight and tonight only, if you win with 7-4, have the floor verify it, and we will give you 3 free hours of cash play. That was Clyde's favorite hand, so help us celebrate that together. We've got 2 tables of 5 on the button running on other 2 tables. We've got a 5 on the button Big O table. We also have the final table of the tournament running. So here we are. We're starting action. I think we're 6 or 7 handed. We've got people up at the cage buying chips to come on in. So we've got 7-5 versus Queen Jack versus Queen 4. This is how we do it at Kojaks. Flop comes out. Ace, deuce, deuce. No help to anybody. First to bet's going to be the first to win. Mr. Josh reaching out. Bets $30 and it goes full fold just like that. That's how easy it is to pull in a pot. So out at Kojaks, we've got coming up next month the 4th annual West Texas Poker Championship Series. It's going to have 10 events, 10 big events filled with lots of action leading up to a huge main event, 5 flights. Pretty nice prize pool going to be guaranteed with that. We've got anything from $100 rebuy tournaments to pot limit Omaha to round of each. High roller no limit hold'em is going to be $1,000. We've got bounties. We've got freeze outs. We've got the Texas Stack the first weekend in April. That is a deep stack tournament. We've named it the Texas Stack. It's only fitting since everything in Texas is bigger. So Choctaw Nuts versus Jack 8, Ace 5 suited. Josh looks down at wired 9s. Pete's got the Clyde, the 7-4 offsuit. Raise up to $50 by Mr. Corey with his Jack 8 suited. Josh is going to make the call. Pete's going to let it go. 3-way action. Jack 9 of diamonds versus Ace 7 of diamonds versus wired 9s. Five on the button, no limit hold'em. Hey, just out of curiosity, head back in here, Brendan. Caught him just before he was leaving. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Brendan. He is the Kojaks manager. He will be running the day-to-day operations, making you a permanent place to stay to play poker. Brendan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. I'm glad to be here, excited to be with the team. A lot going on here at Kojaks. I was down here in January to help out with the series. Fell in love with the room, fell in love with the people, and we're back. So can't wait to really get started. We have a bunch of new promos coming up, a bunch of new things for the room. Keep you very excited and wanting to come out here and check out the room. Always tons of action. I'm from the Northeast, so don't hold that against me. But I did work at a couple casinos up there. I ran a training school, so I do have some experience with this sort of thing. And again, Kojaks just looks like a great home here. Like I said, great people, and so we're excited.
So you're talking about a training school that starts next Monday, right?
Yeah, and so in fact, what I'm going to do is we're doing a training class down here at Kojaks. It's going to be Monday through Thursday for 2 weeks, and that's from 11 to 4 every day. And we're going to teach you the basics of dealing. So from the card shuffling to pitching, no limit, PLO, Big O, tournaments, and all the tricks of the trade to make sure that you're a qualified dealer and make those tips.
Do they have to have any experience, or can they come out after just getting off work in the oil field?
You know what? No experience necessary. From my experience, I have people that play every day that want to jump on the other side and get that guaranteed money every day. I have people that have left careers to do this, part-time, full-time, no matter what. It's a great gig. You can do it anywhere in the world. There's casinos and poker rooms everywhere, so no experience necessary. Just come with a good attitude and you'll be set.
So you said anywhere in the world, like Dubai, Pakistan?
In fact, I was last week I was in Cambodia. That's a third world country, and they have a casino called Naga World. And I stopped in and played a quick tournament. It was a $50 tournament with a bunch of rebuys and add-ons, and it cost me $300.
That's the thing about those. Speaking of a rebuy tournament, we've got our West Texas Poker Championship Series coming up April 4th through April 18th. 10 huge events leading up to our main event. That's going to be huge action. $650 will get you in that field. 5 flights to make it to day 2. Day 2 restarts Sunday. But if you're unfortunate enough to make it to day 2, that Sunday the 18th, we do have a second chance tournament for you to earn some money back. But in between now and then, we'll be having our weekly tournaments. Tuesday, freeze out. Thursday, round of each. Saturday, deep stack. Sunday will be the bounty tournament. Tomorrow, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. $260 will start you off with 20,000 chips, plus that elusive $50 bounty. Go bounty hunting and knock some people out. Each bounty you turn in will be worth a crisp $50 bill. Like Brendan said earlier, be looking for new promos. They've got tons of new promos. But to wrap back real quick, you were talking about that dealing. Just out of curiosity, in the field that you've been in, which is poker dealing, what would you say the average hourly rate for a poker dealer is, with tips included?
So the average hourly rate, and again, this is an average. There's good dealers, there's bad dealers, there's more proficient than others, but the average rate is probably somewhere between $40 and $50 an hour. That's an average.
You can't make that. One of the downfalls that we always hear out here in West Texas is you can go in the oil field and make that. You can't make that unless you're running one of those 7-ton cranes. You make $100 an hour. You can't make that in any other place in the oil field.
And again, you got to remember, we are inside. We are in the air condition, hopefully, right? During the summers here out in Texas.
Yes.
And you're going to get breaks. It's a comfortable atmosphere. You're sitting down. I mean, the positives on the checklist just go for pages on.
Also, the way that it's done here is we pay them on their breaks too. I know a lot of clubs don't pay dealers on their breaks. Kojaks does. They give you paid 30-minute breaks, is it?
That is correct. So when you go and you want to have a bite to eat and relax and put your feet up, you are still getting paid.
Hey, there's nothing better than getting paid for feet up in the air.
So absolutely. So again, there is still time. I believe the class is almost full, but there is time. So if you're interested, please get in contact with someone here at Kojaks. Shoot us an email, give us a call, and we're happy to get you in that class. Again, it's going to start on this Monday, the 7th at 11 o'clock here at Kojaks.
Beautiful. All right, viewers, thank you for listening to that. We'll be right back to this hand in just a moment.
It's like the worst because it's like a 4 card straight.
So we are back. That was Mr. Brendan. He is the new Kojaks manager. He's got lots of exciting promos coming to you. So he's got lots of new promos, all kinds of new action. He's going to pack these tables full for everyone to have poker, loving fun, 24 hours every day. George of the
George in the house.
Zone. George is in the house. It feels like I haven't seen you in like 6 years.
It's been a long time. The beard's looking real good.
And man, it's full. It
is quite full.
I'm gonna flip around. I'm gonna flip around, let y'all see this beard. Beard out in West Texas.
Love the oil field beard. Love that.
So we are playing tonight. No limit hold'em, 2-card all night
Okay.
long.
All night.
500 to 1,000, and we've actually got a good pot brewing right here. Pocket 10s versus 8-7 suited, I believe. 7-6 suited versus Ace King. So top pair, top kicker. Second,
Oh,
so it
man.
wasn't pocket 10s, it was queen 10. My contacts
Queen
are
10,
extremely
yeah.
blurry today. And that's all. The only ounce Josh has is
You gotta
he's got 4 ounces.
moisturize those contacts. It's getting dry out there.
Yes,
Watch out.
my nose, my allergies been killing me. My
Me
nose
too.
has been bleeding.
Woke up in the middle of the night the other night. Actually, past 2 nights. So yeah, it looks like Tom's gonna go ahead and bet it. So with his top pair, he's feeling real good about it.
So, give you a little backstory on Tom. His name's Tom Staten. He was playing last night, and he gets involved in a bomb pot, 4-card bomb pot. He's got 1,300 in front of him. After the hand, he had 5,000 in front of him. He swept it, both boards. He had 2 clubs, 2 spades in his hand.
No.
There were the 4 cards on the flop were spade, club, club, spade. So any black card on the bottom, he wins.
He's
'cause
great,
got the
yeah.
nuts on the bottom. And then he hits a jack on the top to give him top 2 pair on the top board. So he goes sweep, sweep. And everybody was just looking, man, and they kept saying, man, one particular guy was sitting next to him, man, you're so lucky. You're so
Man.
lucky. Of course, he had $1,500 of his money, but he
Oh,
kept
of course.
saying, man, you know, nobody's a sour sport when losing. Everybody wants to win.
Especially in a bomb pot. You know, I mean,
Yes.
it is bingo.
Yes, it is. So over on table number 3, I don't know if you walked in, we had a lot of tables of action going.
A couple of tables going on. A couple of party balloons, too.
Yes, today is Clyde Hinton's first heavenly birthday.
There we go.
So we are celebrating it in style. Clyde Hinton's favorite hand was 7-4.
Okay.
And so anybody that wins, whether it be in tournament or in cash game, in Big O or in PLO, if you win with 7-4 in celebration of Clyde Hinton today and today only, we'll be giving you 3 free hours. So if you win 3 times with 7-4, you've got 9 free hours on your account.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to see a lot of that hand going on tonight.
Basil let his hair down.
Uh-oh.
He's dressed to impress tonight.
Twice as menacing as normal.
He's got the hair hanging out tonight. Look at this. Look at him. We just introduced the new manager of Kojaks.
Hey-oh. Very exciting.
Yes, Brendan
Okay.
looks just like me, bald-headed, shorter beard, but he is the new Kojaks manager. He's going to be running a dealing school next week for the next 2 weeks, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. He's going to teach the basics of dealing. We are growing at such a tremendous rate. We've been adding average 2 tables a night to our normal.
Love that.
So maybe people are getting.
People getting the word out.
Yeah, get the word
People
out.
found out Kojaks is a great place to play.
It's
And it's-
action packed.
Action-packed. It's always polite, and the dealers are fantastic. So
Yes.
very
So
interesting to see.
We've got some new dealers coming in, new faces, and just plenty to give the action. Hey, that's Mr. Galindo in seat number 5 right there.
There we
Haven't seen
go.
him playing lately. A lot of new faces too. We've been
Lot of
getting
new faces,
members.
yeah.
The gentleman sitting down in seat number 4 is a brand new player. He works over at a place called the Mule Barn,
Okay.
and super nice guy. Destroyed the tables last night. sits down with $300, walks away with $3,000.
Okay. Okay. That's
10x win. So
that's
he's
not too
back
bad.
to get him another
Not
bite
too
of the
bad.
pie tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got a lot of guts to jump onto the live stream immediately,
and
but
he is a newer player.
he's got the skills to back it up. It seems like.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what the new blood brings to the table. It really shifts the dynamic of the way everybody plays, and if you can get some new players who don't necessarily have that much experience, you see them do interesting things because they're solving puzzles at a different level.
Yes, and that's exactly what it is. You have the jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
You've got the beginners, the 30 pieces. You've got the intermediate, the 100 pieces, the advanced 500. Then you've got the experts, which are 10, 12,000 pieces.
Right.
And when you look at a table like this, seat number 1, the guy built a house with his poker winnings from Christmas. And no joke.
Impressive.
He built
That's
a
impressive.
house.
That's an awesome.
And his way of thinking is completely different than seat number 2.
Right.
Seat number 2's younger guy. Some people would say, Gen X, millennial.
Sure.
He's made a lot of money in cryptocurrency. So
He looks like it. It's the circle
does.
glasses.
He does.
looks
He
just
looks
like
like the fraternity brother.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, super nice guy, Tom. I mean, he's always out here having a good time.
Yeah.
Smiling, joking.
Yeah, I
just
got
all
to
of
play
it.
with him last week.
But
Actually,
it's
he's
different
great.
for him to put $400 in the pot than it is for Robert, because Robert in seat 1, his moves are calculated.
Right.
When he puts his money in the pot, he can tell you, no matter what you have, I'm at a 36% chance to win. And it's
Yeah.
fun. We had a brand new member, a woman that came in today.
Uh-huh.
Her third time playing poker, and we had to help her out with betting. And
Sure,
all that.
sure.
That's what we're here. We're here to teach, to coach. Ace Quisha, is that Ace
Whoa,
Quisha?
Basil with the ace Quisha, letting his hair down, and the ladies are responding.
I know. He is such a character, man. We love us some Basil here at Kojak.
Love Basil.
But it's Basil. He looks like he just doesn't care. He looks like, hey, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna call this. But don't get him wrong. He's one of those players. He's not here to lose money. He's here to make him some cash.
And he does almost every night.
Flop comes out, Jack of Hearts,
Uh-oh.
9 of Hearts. That
2
makes
hearts.
that Ace Quisha look good.
Looking real good with the ace Quisha.
King Jack's leading it up. 55. Is that 5-5?
That is a 5-5 for JTN.
All right,
Is
we
that
got,
Justin? That's short for Justin.
Joshua.
Okay.
That's his full name. I mean, his 3 initials.
Okay. I was about to say full name doesn't have vowels in it.
No. I'd like to see this 6-5 right here place a little. Oh, 200. Never mind. Basil leading out with 200.
Basil leading out
deuce?
with 200. I don't see Corey going anywhere with top pair. Great kicker. It's just he probably is aware that he's up against a flush draw.
Or aces. An overpair.
It could
the
be.
overbet
It could
trying
be.
to get ace jack
It
to
could
swing
be.
along.
It could be.
Corey makes the call. He's already got the 200 out
Corey
there.
makes the call, and Basil's getting a perfect price now. He timed that perfectly to hit a flush, and he sure enough does.
So it looked like he was trying to bet where they wouldn't chase the flush.
Right.
He should have checked right there.
Yeah.
Because
he
when
should
you're
have checked to confuse
Yes.
Corey. I see. Yeah.
But
But
Corey's
Corey's
not
not worried about that lower card hitting the board. And I bet you Basil's table talk right now in this position. He is just a master of the table talk.
Basil came into play. Look at that. Just he fires out 175.
Firing out again. A down bet. Interesting. Probably acting scared. And that was the perfect amount to get paid off. Corey, sure enough, shoves 175 more into the pot.
That's Basil's first hand at the table.
Is it?
He just
okay. All right.
Welcome to the table, Basil.
Welcome to the table, Basil, making $660 right off the rip.
Yeah, 1.2 thousand chips extra setting in his stack. He's now at 1.4.
Oh man.
Wow.
Table,
And the chip leader.
chip leader, table champion right now. Jose down to 435.
Is that a Cobra Kai shirt he's
That
wearing?
is a Cobra Kai shirt. Yeah, it's either Superman or Cobra Kai. It seems like with Basil.
He sold me on Cobra Kai. Have you watched it?
I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, so the first episode's kind of weak.
They always
if
are.
you had
They
to
always
compare
are.
it to LaRusso's battles, it would be like the first one where he gets kicked in the face, or he kicks the other guy in the face, and he says, "Sweep a leg."
Yeah.
It's a weak battle.
As long as it picks up from there, I guess.
Yeah,
You want to set the bar low
yes.
so that the audience's expectations are not great.
Oh, wow, we can read their text messages.
Very good.
That'd
Yeah.
be crazy if we could zoom in.
Honey, I'll be home later.
Yes.
Table's going real good. Heart emoji, horse emoji, and then smiley face.
His
I wonder
wife is
what
probably
that
watching.
means. She probably is. Hey, shout out.
Yes.
We're all having a good time here.
We were thinking about running it 10-handed tonight.
Oh man, that would have been interesting.
Because Hold'em 10-handed, it's a different game.
It is a
It's
completely different game.
Because when you're playing Hold'em table, and a lot of people like 6 max, which is 6
Me
players.
too. I'm one of those players. Yeah.
Because your king deuces are stronger.
It's
hands.
great. Yeah.
You can
you play more
it
hands, you
fits
get more
us.
action. Yeah.
Yes.
And I have ADD. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably a couple other poker players do too. And so it's nice to not have to sit there for 10 years before you get a hand like you do with the 10 max.
So 10 max, if people are in a hand, they're in a hand with pocket 10s, pocket 9s,
Right.
ace jack suited,
Right.
stuff like that. But tonight, as we've seen, that's the largest pot of the night, and we are gonna have Action Jackson. Jackson. That's hard to say.
Action-
Say that 3 times.
I'm not gonna try.
Action Jackson. Did you see those big old tornadoes up in Iowa today?
Oh man, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
they-
I saw that low pressure brewing though. That was.
I was watching. My weather app, that one that you liked on my phone.
Yeah.
And it said tornado warning, so I clicked on it. It said an extremely large and dangerous tornado is on the ground. This is a
that's- Particularly
PDS,
dangerous storm.
PDS. No, PDS, particularly dangerous situation.
Situation. That's right.
And it said to repeat, and it repeated it all. And then about 2 minutes later, there was some storm chasers that were running behind the storm, and it looked like a bomb had gone off.
Wow.
Because the trees were stripped of bark.
Wow.
And you know,
Yeah.
that's usually
That's when you know, yeah.
EF4 and stronger. And
Oh, man, yeah.
this is I hate spring.
Okay, interesting.
Because you've got the cold air and warm air collide, and you've got
Uh-huh.
usually the stronger system gradients. You've got the multi-level wind differentiation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the rotation.
Well, this man's throwing out a couple of $3 words here. It's interesting. A lot of people who like weather usually do like springtime. They get the severe weather. They get the tornadoes and
I don't
stuff
like
like
springtime.
that. I'm a big fan. I have to say I really enjoy.
I'm a big fan if I've got a tornado cellar.
Oh yeah,
My next tornado
that's
has
true.
a tornado
Yeah,
cellar
that's
in there.
true. That's true.
And I've got an 8-foot brick fence, and I can jump that fence because I have nets. As soon as I looked outside one day and saw hail falling that was almost the size of a softball about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I cleared that 8-foot fence. I dodged every piece of hail, and I got in my next door neighbor's tornado cellar. They didn't even join me. But
Every piece of hail.
I told them I'm going to get in there.
I'm gonna be there.
And
Yeah.
When you've got hail falling that big, you've got
You
lift.
got something.
You've
Yeah,
lift.
you got something. You got enough to create that hail.
Ah.
Man, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I nervous about this spring. I'll be honest. I think it may be
An active one.
an active spring. Yeah, it seems
It's
like
kind of
we're
a quiet winter.
quiet winter. We're already ramping up. We've already had a couple of severe thunderstorms here, so we'll have to see.
That,
but
that jet stream, pretty much all
Oh,
of
man,
the winter,
it's-
it stayed almost
It's
flat against
right.
the United States. The storm
Yeah.
systems travel through the Midwest right into the Northeast.
oh man, so you see the PNA pattern lately. It's like
Yes.
very exaggerated.
Yes,
So
and that's what you look for when you get those huge nor'easters
That's right.
in the winter.
that's right.
And man, I missed the calling.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like hey, it's not too late. It's
I'm
not too
pa-
late.
I'm
I'm sure.
So if you know anybody that can get me into it, let me know.
Sure thing. I think I know a guy.
7-5, almost the 7-4. Robert Basil's gonna. Oh, he doesn't have cards. I was gonna say he's gonna hate to lose to Robert. That's his favorite hand.
Yeah,
Match
Basil.
on his face. It says it on his mask.
He's got a Jack 10 mask tonight.
He almost all of his masks say Jack 10.
Interesting.
We ordered up the fights at Kojak's, so we do have the big UFC cards going.
All right.
2, 3, 4 of clubs,
Ooh.
possible straight flush, but nobody has it. The only
Nobody
club is
has
sitting in Hugo's hand.
Hugo's probably gonna feel pretty good about that queen too. He's only beat by an ace or a king of clubs.
I like the 7-5. Tom's going to gamble a little bit. 6 or an ace gives him a straight.
Uh-huh.
River card comes, the 5.
Five.
There's
He
seven
makes
high
a pair.
straight. 7 high straight.
7 high.
No,
Oh,
just
he's got a
kidding.
pair of fives.
Just kidding. Haha, I fooled you. I was thinking, when I said 7-5, I was thinking 7-6.
I didn't want to call you out on that in case I was wrong, but it looks like Tom goes ahead and bets it, and he wins it. That's all it
We had
takes.
8-4 versus Queen 4 versus 7-5 and
Oh,
7-5. The worst of the three, the lesser of the three evils.
Yep. That's one
is
of
the
those
winner.
pots that would tilt me just enough to make me act foolish on the next hand.
I sure would like to jump on this table. I thought about it a while ago.
Yeah.
Got a couple. We've got some. We've got Hugo, who's been here for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. We've got Corey, who's been here for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
Robert likes to play this game. He looks like he's got a headache right now. Maybe he's having to listen to Tom.
Tom yapping back there.
Yeah, Mr. Hugo was enjoying some 5 on the button Big O action right before this.
Okay.
I did not know Big O is a whole different
The
monster.
big
Have you ever
variety.
watched it?
I've never watched it.
Okay,
no.
so it's 5-card high-low.
Okay.
You ever played a high-low game?
I played high-low before.
You
I
gotta
played
have-
Omaha high-low.
Yeah, 3 cards, 8 or lower that are non-paired to activate the low hand.
Okay.
But when you've got when you got 9 players at the table and they each get 5 cards, that's 45 cards.
Yeah. It's
So
the whole
you've
deck.
got to assume the nuts are out every
Right,
time.
right.
I mean, if somebody's betting, you've got to assume.
Wow.
If you don't hold it, they probably
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Ooh, I like the
Oh,
8-6
man.
suited, the 6-5 suited, Ace Jack.
Well, be honest, 2 cards is enough for me to keep up with, especially when we're commentating. So I'm glad
We already
glad
know.
we're not talking big O
Look
right
at
now.
that board and tell me who's going to win.
Yeah, Rob. I think
Nope,
Rob's got it.
No, Hugo, the best hand.
You think
and
Hugo's
poker.
going to get... Okay, 5-3. I neglected...
We call that the Kojak nuts.
Yeah,
Look at
or
that,
the
pair of
Charlie.
threes.
Or the Charlie.
Yeah. Pair of threes is in the lead right now, correct?
And Rob now has a flush
ace-nine.
draw, so...
Mr. Brendan, welcome back to the room. This is Mr. George right here.
How's it going, Mr. Brennan?
How are you?
Good to meet you.
We're still floating right here. We've got a flush draw for Rob.
Yeah,
the
looks
best
like-
hand in poker. Mr. Hugo's got 5-3. He's got
Hugo's
the bottom
still in
pair.
there.
He's not gonna give it up.
Basil's got the gut shot. He's got a gutter ball right there. Let's
Or
see
the
if the
10
jack
straight.
comes off. Okay, or an
And that
ace.
still keeps him active in it.
Or an ace.
I mean, it doesn't improve his straight draw at all.
Technically, you're right.
Oh, I would love to see a 3 of diamonds on the river. Oh, just kidding. 3 of diamonds cannot come out, but it's gone. There's your outs for Mr. Rob. He is behind Basil's ace-9, 2 pair. Basil sets down. First hand he wins. First hand he plays will
Ace
go
Quisha.
of hearts. Turns the nut flush. Pulls in a $1,200 pot. First hand he plays.
First
So
hand.
he's
A lot of
chip
action
leader.
tonight. A lot more than typical Saturday nights. So it's always good.
Usually we've got the round of each playing on this, and so it's kind of a little different look, something a little different for him. But we're going to take a quick 30, and that's not minutes, that is seconds. So that 30 seconds turned into 55 seconds, but we are back to action. Queen,
This
King
guy knows how to count everything.
versus
It's
86.
so impressive to me. So Pete picking up a pair of sixes on that doubled board there. He's got to worry if Joshua has a 7, but not likely in Joshua's position.
So Pete's name is Pete Ochoa. What should we nickname him?
Pete Ochoa.
I like to think about dodgeball.
I like Ocho. I like the Ocho.
He
I
is
like
Pete
the Ocho.
That is what we're going to nickname him. He's a super nice guy. He works hard. He plays hard.
That's the best way to be. That's the best way to be. The harder you work, the harder you have got to play to keep your mind on straight. That's at least how I feel.
Look down at social media last week, and he took one of his sons to Top Golf.
Oh, fun.
I guess the mail service wasn't running that day because I didn't get the invite. 5 on the button, no limit hold'em. Tom has now dethroned Mr. Basilio, otherwise known as Basil. 1.4 to 1.3.
It's a tough fight. Now, a lot of money on the table already. We've only been going for, half hour, 45 minutes?
13 hands.
Yeah, 13 hands, and we've already got a lot of money moving hands, too. Moving around the table.
Let's see how many times. Too bad we don't have. Oh, I got some bourbon.
Okay.
I was gonna say every time we say the word hand, we have to take a shot. Welcome out to hand number 15. Shot. All right, $30 in the pot. We're moving on around.
I'm just imagining my strategy on that game would just to be say hand as often as possible, and then
Yes.
regret it about 10 minutes in.
So we got diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Not very many hearts. Ace,
Not
queen,
very
9.
many hearts. Jose picks up the gut shot, or rather the, what is that called? Two-way to the nuts.
Two-way to the nuts. Where are we at?
He's got the
Backdoor.
Backdoor. That's what I meant. Yeah, King of Hearts. Gave him the backdoor flush. It's been a little while since I've been in the booth. I was here last week. Me and Chris held it down, but I'm a little rusty.
We were a little short-handed last week.
A little short-handed
I
last
had
week.
to go to a retreat, a marriage retreat to get married.
I love it. Love it.
And it was wonderful. We had a good time learning. It was a communication
About
retreat.
each other.
It was to learn how to communicate. Honey, I don't like the way you did that, so I'm going to do it this way. That's what no, I'm just kidding. If you're listening, babe, I do love you. That is not at all the way it was meant.
It's perfect. He says the relationship is perfect. He's doing the hand gesture for I had the best time at that retreat.
Yes. Joining us in the booth is the one and only Jade. Jade, you haven't met Mr. George yet.
How's it
Hi,
going?
George, I'm
Mr.
Jade.
George, you hadn't even seen any of this yet.
No.
Not the new stuff.
Did you get some more ink?
No, same old.
I don't
Oh,
remember
this one, this one.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
I
no.
don't remember this. What does that say?
Yeah.
Tell me. Learn me.
It says no matter where. My cousin and I got it on her birthday, so she lives in Dallas. No matter where we are,
You're in a poker room, so they're gonna say no matter where.
no matter.
So this is our new live stream setup. This was Clyde's baby that he put together. Speaking
Nice.
of Clyde, he loved Miss Jade. He would do anything for that woman. She loved him just as much.
I can see why.
So this is Clyde's $10,000 table that he had us put together and get for him.
Oh, nice.
We got it the week after. He never got to see it, but he's watching it. I guarantee you
Oh,
he's
yeah,
watching
for
it.
sure.
Oh yeah.
So we've got Mr. Josh, 64 suited. We've got Hugo with wired eights, and Basil once again. Basil's
Ace
got
Jack.
some massive hands
He's
today.
been getting some good aces lately.
First hand he sets down, he's got Ace Quisha of hearts, turns the nut flush, pulls in 1,200 plus.
Not a bad way to greet the table.
He's out hunting ladies tonight. Let the hair down. He's,
I was gonna say I haven't seen Basil's hair down in years.
it's usually braided with some color in it, but
Yeah.
he is
Yeah.
out tonight.
A lot longer than I expected.
Is
I'll
it
be
a
honest.
round of each?
No, ma'am. It is only Hold'em tonight. So only Hold'em tonight. So we've got 9 players here. Average chip stack looks to be right around $900. 500 to 1,000 is the buy-in. 70% of the big stack is allowable. We're still at Kojak's. Going to give the big stack who's played the longest, played the hardest, or got lucky on their first hand. We're going to give them the 30% advantage. That way they don't give it away now. So we don't have any liquor, but we decided that we're going to take a shot every time we say the word hand tonight.
Whoa! Wait a second. There we
So
go.
here we are.
There we
We are
go.
at hand number 15.
Whoa!
tonight.
Wait a second. That's 2.
Whoa, shit! Y'all are gonna have fun.
Oh, we could have fun with this.
Yeah.
Mr. Ochoa, nicknamed the Ocho,
The Ocho.
is going to reach his hand out and grab his cards. There we go. Another shot.
K2.
So, can you not do 10-handed?
We can do 10-handed. Yes, ma'am. That is a true 10-handed table, as you can tell. Ocho's sitting in between 9 and 10.
So y'all just only like to do 9, or is there?
No, we can put up another. Or you want is
You wanna get in there.
I see what
Okay.
she's doing there.
I didn't
Very
know if there was a weight.
Very
so
sly.
when you head out of here, head up to Brendan and tell him that Charlie said we're going to go 10-handed on that game.
Okay.
And if he's got any questions about it, I don't know if Poker Atlas is set up to hold the 10th hand, but we can. It looks like it is not. And so I'm going to
Ooh.
after this hand's over, we can't leave.
Yeah, we
Is
got
it?
kings versus queens right
Are
here.
you serious? My eyes are so blurry.
Yeah, and Hugo's got an 8-3. He's probably going to get out of there.
It looked like it was king.
Rob with the Cowboys goes
Versus-
all in. I don't know if
Jose's-
Jose's going to be able to fold this.
Yeah, he says call.
How many times? They're running it once.
It looks like one time. So
Woo.
1, 2, 3. Here comes the flop. Cowboys versus Queens.
Oh, an ace comes out just like every time you have kings, an ace is going to
Queen
come out.
only.
And there's a king.
Bodie boat, and they ran
Boating
it
it
one
up.
time. Bodie boat, and Jose says, "Damn it, boy." Actually, that's most likely Basil saying, "Damn it, boy."
Damn it, boy.
All right, I will be right
It's
back.
nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too. Oh man, yeah, big hands tonight. It just never stops so far. I mean, as Charlie's been talking about, we got Basil with the Ace Quisha first hand he sat down at the table with. Then we got Kings versus Queens. So it looks like it's going to be an action-packed night. If what we've seen so far is anything to go on, this is just that's such a cooler. You know, what are you going to do? And then to boat up is kind of like twisting the knife. But it looks like Looks like we'll see where those kings go next. One man at the table, much smilier than the rest of the guys at the table after that hand. It always feels good to win about $400, $500 in one pot. Profit, of course. That pot was about 800. I think it was 885. That previous pot. Rob's got the 9.5 under the gun. Not good enough. Not good enough. We were talking earlier about the difference between a 6 max and a 10 max, and well, 9.5 probably wouldn't cut it on either of those, especially under the gun. Let's see. Robert makes a raise to $20. King Queen. Basil's got him crushed with another big hand. He's got the Ace King offsuit. I think spades are live. I don't think I saw anybody fold spades, or at least not 2 spades in their hand. So Robert could easily make the flush. It would be the second flush, second to the eights, the second nut flush. Sorry, second to the ace, not the eights. I was trying to read the board in my mind, which came 8, 9, 9, 2 hearts, 1 spade. So Robert picks up the back door. Hugo with a up and down straight draw. Probably not too worried. Hits a pair of 7s. Probably not too worried about anybody holding a 9 the way that this pot has gone. Standard raise, pre-flop, 2 callers. Probably you're not going to be holding a 9 there unless it's ace 9. Hugo with his pair of 7s is best, but it looks like Hugo bets 30 and Basil only calls. Can't win a hand that way. So I think if Basil had raised there, he probably would have been able to take down that pot. I don't see Hugo calling to the possibility of an overpair, especially with Basil being the pre-flop aggressor. No, Basil flat called on the flop. My mistake. Basil flat called on the flop, and also shows a lot of strength. So he could easily have an overpair, pair of 10s, pair of jacks, something like that. Chip count Rob taking it to the top at 1.6K. Always nice. And it looks like we may be getting another player at the table. And one that I may have met a second ago. Let's see if that is what's happening. Looks like Jade has joined the gang, going 10-handed. Now, 10-handed versus 9-handed is not going to make much of a difference, but 6-handed versus 10 certainly will. And anything below 6-handed, so 5 versus 6-handed, it's going to be a slightly different game. 3 versus 6-handed is a completely different game. So now that we're 10-handed, you shouldn't see too much difference in hand selection pre-flop or aggression post-flop. I expect most of that to remain the same. But because there is another player, that is going to shift the dynamic of how these players have been playing at the table. Not a huge difference. We've only been 17 hands deep. Whoa! I said it 3 times. I guess I'm going to take a couple of shots. I'm kidding. But she is going to shift the dynamic of the table. Corey with the ace-king. Probably not getting out of there pre-flop. And Jade sits down with the king-jack. Not a bad hand to look at, especially in the hijack position. Corey likely going to re-raise it here with... Yeah, he raises up to 150. A huge bet. I kind of don't see any of the other players sticking around based on their hands. Jade's first hand picks up the king-jack, but without any table history, I kind of think she's going to get away from it, even though she does have position and some fairly strong cards. King-jack is one of those hands where you know you're crushed. You know your opponent has kings or aces or ace-king or something like that. So Josh, JTN, is it Josh? I hope so. I don't mean any disrespect. With the 10-8, he knows his cards are live, even though he's only got a 10 high. A lot of times there will be overcards on the flop. He's still looking to get sticky with it. And I got to say, interesting position. 5-5-6. Now, he knows Corey more than likely does not hit that flop. But because Corey goes all in, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing Jay can do. Corey did really good strategy I like to call taking the option away. He just removed the option for Josh JTN. Justin? Josh. No, it's not Justin. Josh. For Josh to do anything betting-wise. He can't bet. The only thing he could do was call in that position. So he either had it or he didn't. And sure enough, he did not have it. But Josh had the right idea. Calling an ace-king pre-flop with lower cards. That way, if the board comes out lower than ace or a king, you got some gambling room. Corey's a strong player, though, so he went out ahead and bet it, and that was a strong line to take. Acted like he had overcards, overpairs to the board. Hugo with the king-queen under the gun makes a big raise to 40. It's a little bigger than most opening raises we've seen for the night so far. Now Robert's going to go ahead and call the king-6, a loose call, in my opinion, especially for 40 bucks. Let's see, Josh is going to call. Looks like they got a little history. No, Corey's not in the hand. Jose with the queen-4, getting out of there. Getting out of there. Jade went ahead and folded the 6-2. We got 3 players to the flop, 2 of which have kings, and all 3 have clubs in their hand. Joshua, in position, decides he's going to make a bet. Does not hit anything, but he's willing to bet that other players did not either. Hugo looks like he accidentally exposed a king of spades. And Robert, with his king-6, is evaluating whether or not his overcard is worth sticking around for. I think he doesn't believe Joshua has the ace, so he's wondering, can I eventually beat a pair of 8s or a pair of 9s? But he does get away from it. Could have been a little bit of Hollywood in there. Decides to do that last card peek, and then so many players do before they fold, as if they didn't have it memorized the whole time. Or maybe I just give too much credit. Robert still at the chip lead at 1.6K. Joshua now at 385 at the bottom. And all players, all the rest of them are in between. But it looks like most players have around 1,000, give or take. And that is enough to really make things interesting. If one player doubles up, you're going to start to see a couple other players adding on. Because once you see 2,200, 2,500 at the table next to you, you're going to want to have a chip stack sizable enough to compete. And most of these players have the bankroll, at least that I've seen. I wouldn't be surprised to find that all of these players are very well bankrolled, enough to add on $2,000-$3,000 at a time. And it looks like Robert, there is a straddle out there, $10 straddle. We had a couple of callers there, and a raise to 35. Let's see what he's holding. Oh, Joshua. Pete the Ocho raising it up, 10-7 suited. Loose raise in my opinion, but maybe he smells weakness, and judging by the strength of the rest of these other hands, that very well could be the case. It looks like he's not that far behind. Only 10% equity, but stranger things have happened. He doesn't hold very high cards, so if it comes down to that, at the end of the run out, he's probably not going to make it. But if he can push out, Basil's ace high or Hugo's king high, which are not very strong hands in and of themselves, he'll be able to take down this pot. Let's see if his aggression pays off. And the flop comes ace, 6, king. So unfortunately, it looks like the Ocho is not going to be able to pull it out with that aggression. Basil hitting top pair, Hugo hitting second pair. Now, Pete does have backdoor clubs, but even then, he's only going to, a 10 high flush with the king on the board. If the ace of clubs does come off, he's probably going to like that, except for the fact that the board will be paired, giving Basil, of course, 3 of a kind, but also putting the possibility out for a full house. If somebody's holding ace 6, for example, that would be a full house, and would perfectly fall in line with Pete's read from earlier in the hand that other players were weak. So we'll have to see how this shakes out. It looks like Pete, I think I saw him out of the hand. but I could be. I believe I am mistaken on that. Basil goes ahead and checks it. Let's see. The Ocho with 2 fingers gives a check, and Hugo bets 180. Has not improved with that 4 of diamonds on the turn, but is going to bet it. Maybe trying to rep an ace with a delayed C bet, but Basil is actually holding the ace. So Basil goes ahead and makes the call, obviously. Now Hugo probably realizes he's behind. Oh no, he's way ahead. He's got 2 pair. I didn't even notice that 6. Basil believes he's ahead. And a 2 of diamonds. Deuce never changes anything. Basil goes ahead and checks. And Hugo surprisingly checks as well. Would have liked to see a value bet there on the end with 2 pair. Much better than the second pair that I previously read that for. And you got a value bet. One of the stats that changed my game personally was whether or not was the percentage frequency of how often you bet your best hand. If you have the best hand on the river and you don't bet it, then you're missing value. So the percentage of how often you're able to capitalize on that value is a very important percentage. And it kind of, when I was a beginning player, been playing for a couple of months, so maybe I'm still a beginning player, but when I learned that stat existed, just the mere fact that that's something that you can track, it made so much sense to me. And that is an important part of the game, is realizing that expected value and gaining, capitalizing on those EVs that you can make. When you have the best hand, when you have 2 pair on the river, and the board isn't flushy or straighty, it's usually a pretty safe spot to bet. The question could have been, though, will Basil call even a small bet? And Basil's a good enough player. I don't expect that his top pair, no kicker basically, would have been good enough for him to call. Basil now has a pair of 5s. The Ocho with the Queen Jack suited of spades. Always like to see that. Hugo with Basil's favorite hand, the Jack 10, though it is not suited. And it looks like we're going... all right, here we go. Hugo re-raises to 130. So this is kind of how Texas poker is played. If you're not from Texas and you don't, watch a lot of Texas poker, you'll see a lot of people calling pre-flop and a lot of people to the flop. But if somebody wants to squeeze play or, just thin the field a little bit, they're going to make a huge bet. Going from 15 to 130. It's more than 10x the previous bet. So it's actually 11x. So the previous bet. Now, you do want to bet your sizing based on how many limpers to the pot. You usually go 3x and then plus 1x per limper. It is pretty standard, but in this position, Hugo with a $130 re-raise pre-flop. Quite a sizable bet, and that's really going to bloat the pot very, very quickly. So either you have to have a good hand or you have to be very confident in being able to outplay the other people in the pot. And 10-10-7, a paired board. Joshua with a pair of 7s goes all in. Quick fold from Jade. I don't think Pete or Hugo can stick around with this, even though it looks like they want to stick around. Hugo does make the call. Jack 10. He's got 3 of a kind there, and he boats up right there with a couple of deuces on the river and turn. Wow, Hugo making it happen there. Joshua not too happy about it. Throws his chips in, but immediately pulls out the wallet, ready to rebuy. And that's what I was talking about with the bankroll. These players are well bankrolled. They're good players. They play a lot, as you can tell. And it really, it comes across. Let's see, we've got a couple of dollar bills on the table. Looks like the dealer is getting ready to shuffle. We got the brush coming. It's just funny to see all those hundreds, all those Benjamins out there on the table. And, that's just more money on the table. And that's what happens with these live stream games. Is we'll see continuously more and more money just floating on the table, and by the end of the night, this is, I predict, going to be a large game. It usually gets to be. You know, we get a lot of big action pots, we get a lot of big action players, and it looks like tonight is one of the more action-packed tables compared to other times. We get the Crusher dealing right now, one of my favorite dealers. She's got that nickname, the Crusher, for her tendency to deal hands to players that go all in. And I think realistically, if you were to look at the numbers, if you were to analyze the percentages and actually get into detail, you would see that it's a normal distribution. But you know, just like poker players say, every time you have pocket kings, there's an ace on the flop. You know, it just kind of seems that way, even though the numbers don't really back that up. And I think that's what's going on with the Crusher's nickname. But either way, it's fun. It's a fun game to play. Jade with the ace-king has been getting good hands. It looks like she's been taking Basil's luck so far. Tom getting out of there. And Hugo makes the call with the 6-5. Kind of a loose call, but we've got a couple of people in the pot. Maybe he felt like he might be priced in by the end of the pre-flop round. Robert with the ace-9 on the button. He's got it suited. He says, I like the way it looks. Jade makes the call. And Robert has no idea that he is completely crushed by Jade. Now, the only case that Robert really is looking for is diamonds. And I have a feeling he'll be able to get out of there if 2 diamonds do not come on this flop, which sure enough they don't. Queen, 8, deuce, rainbow. 1 diamond out there. We've got really the only card that makes a difference. A second diamond does turn, and it is a 3. So it shouldn't really change any pairs, though Joshua does pick up an up and down straight draw. So I expect that he will likely bet the hell out of this. Try and kick everybody out, and he doesn't. He doesn't. Maybe he's seeing monsters from his last hand. Jade, I believe, has the best hand with her ace high, but does not have a pair. And I'm betting into somebody who may have a queen is a good play. That's what I was saying. I think if Joshua had bet, Jade would have folded without her pairs. She still gets 2 callers. 3 players to the river, and it's an 8. No diamonds. So pairs the board. Nobody makes a pair, though. Everybody with that pair of 8s. And that's it. Jade's ace-high kicker will be the best hand. And Jade bets 200. Chewing on that floss stick. I guess it's mint flavored. And a little smile while she rakes in the chips. $480 profit. She's excited, I'm sure, to be at this table with the luck that she's had. She's now at 1.1K, which puts her in 4th place. Hugo, after that massive all-in pot, hits 2.1 thousand. And I'm kind of surprised. You know, other players like Robert have not added on yet. We do a 70% rule here at Kojaks. So you can add on to 70% of the big stack. You can catch up to that, which I believe would be 1,400 if my math is correct. Pull out my calculator. Before I make a fool out of myself. Oh, well, too late. Already did. But anyway, you can add on to, yeah, it is 1,400. So you can add on to any level up to 70% of the big stack, which would be another 1,000 in some of these players' positions. Tom getting in on it with the queen 9. Tom is out of there. I spoke too soon. Got Hugo, the ace 3. Corey with the 8-9. Both hands, all spades. We get 1 spade on the flop, as well as a king and a jack. Nobody pairs the king or the jack, so it looks like Corey with his 3 to a straight flush is going to go ahead and bet it. And everyone folds. If you bet, that was one of those hands. The first to bet is the first to take it. Stacking his chips happily, showing no emotion, but probably a little happy on the inside. Nice pot to take down. Sometimes that aggression will help you win pots that are not even yours. Looks like that's what happened for Corey. That is the name of the game. So we've got a double straddle to 20. And everyone folds. No, we got a 20 straddle. Sorry, the graphics are getting a little ahead of me, I guess. We got Jade with the king deuce. Oh, man. Hugo with the Rockets. 4 bets to 140, as he should. Oh, no. And Jose with the pocket kings. What are you going to do? Oh, no. Jose all in, and Hugo is just Hollywood in the call. He makes the call. Jose quickly turns over the Cowboys.
I heard there was a huge bluff just made.
Yeah, there's
I
a
like
large
Are
bluff.
those camera glasses?
I got these. No, I got these for the club here. I picked up a pair of Pit Vipers because they're really reflective, and
I
so
like that.
you can't see anything. And then they also have this little window here.
I like that.
And they've got some redneck style. You should check out their website. The marketing is unbelievable.
The thing what I thought that was is I thought that was the blue-green glasses for the looking at screens.
No, yeah, no. I fully. I got the full color spectrum.
What
in
the
my
heck?
vision.
Was that all in pre-flop?
It was all in pre-flop. Yeah, Hugo raised it
Aces
up,
versus kings?
and then
That's a
yeah,
poker
Jose
player's
with the
nightmare.
kings went all in. Didn't realize Jose had the aces. Yeah, either a nightmare or your wettest dream, depending on which
Absolutely.
position you're sitting
So last week there was a player that was sitting here, and he got issued some medicine from his doctor,
Uh-huh.
and he had a bottle of this, and he drank about that much. And think of the drunkest person you've ever met in your life. He
in.
was 6 times worse.
Oh no.
Well, he was trying to drive, and I got in front of him. I took his keys and hit him.
Oh, no.
He was mad at me, but I would not give him his
Well-
keys back. I called an Uber, had the Uber walk it. I tipped him $20 extra.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what we do here. If you drink too much, we pay for an Uber.
Sure.
I tipped her $20 cash and said, make sure he gets to his house. So I asked him which one was his house key. I pulled that one off, and
Uh-huh.
I gave him that house key.
Wow.
And I gave it to the Uber driver. She took him home.
Uh-huh.
And the Uber driver pulled up. Think of the most Arkansas redneck missing teeth. She pulled up and he goes, is she taking me home? And I said, yes, sir. She's going to make sure you get home. He goes, I don't want to go home with her. And I said, you're not going home with her. She's just taking you home.
She's
He goes,
just taking you
she's not
to-
coming in. And I mean, well, today, to thank me for what I did, he brought me a bottle of, do you like bourbon?
It looks like pretty tasty bourbon.
Do you like bourbon?
I developed a taste for bourbon when I went to Louisville.
I've never had it, and if you would like it, you can have it.
Okay, well,
Okay.
sure. That's it.
I'm not much of a drinker because I don't know when to stop.
Ah, yes, that is my advantage as well.
So,
As a
Miss
stage
Jade
call,
right
a
here
problem. Jade
is
has
the
been
most-
doing well
So
with her hands.
she, I would compare her to some of the top players. She has zero fear of losing to a guy.
Yeah.
She will push a man.
Well, she's got this great demeanor too, where she's just chewing on this.
Yeah.
Great sense of humor. Great sense of humor.
Look at her just staring him down.
Yeah, yeah. No, you can totally tell.
So
you know,
she
that
she
she's
plays
not
she
afraid.
plays. Oh, that's Mario coming to that table. Mr. Mario
Ooh,
Betancourt,
love
welcome
that.
to the table.
Love that.
He's
Mario.
5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. It looks like maybe 1,000. So it's most likely 1,000.
Most likely 1,000. Big Stack now sits, I believe, at 2.1K. So if the 70% rule is held, that'd be about 1,400 would be about the max buy, or maybe 1,450.
Ochoa looking down at 40
44.
44 ounces.
I love it. I love it. Well, speaking of which, if you want to get in with the game that we were playing earlier,
Right.
more than happy to do so. I see
Oh man!
two
Look,
cups
oh
here.
my gosh! Ace
And
9
Hugo
suited,
with the
7-5
aces.
suited, and American Airlines sitting in
Oh,
Hugo's hand. Who
no.
just won? He just had aces
I believe he did.
a hand ago.
I believe he did.
Oh my gosh! That's maybe there was a hand in between.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there was one hand in between.
King 5 suited.
Now, I will say that those are not the same aces.
Okay.
So this,
Yeah, he did get him
it's
back
not
in
that
the-
fishy.
Look at this. Basil raised to 200. What does Basil have?
Oh boy, that is a dream right there.
What does Basil have? I don't even
Basil?
see- Oh no, Basil. No,
No,
Josh raised to 200. No, he called.
Hugo.
Okay.
Hugo raised to 200.
Josh is getting frisky with
Foggy
King
contacts.
5.
Yeah, getting sticky with the King 5 suited. Now, it would be really interesting to see 4 clubs hit the board.
Oof. That's going to be the end of Josh's
That's
run in
the
this
end.
hand.
That's the end.
I mean,
Hugo
there's
moves all in.
There's nothing you can bet right there to push Hugo off with an
Right,
overpair aces.
right.
I mean, if you got Queen Jack right there, you just pay him off.
Yeah, and Hugo, like I say earlier, removed the option from Josh. He cannot bluff at it because he moved all
Look
in.
at that beautiful castle.
That is beautiful. That is quite beautiful.
The only way I have it like that is if I buy in for 2,000 in red.
I would, yeah, honestly, I would start changing out some of those chips, coloring up a little bit. Maybe that's what he likes.
So here's a question. From a dealer's and a floor standpoint, when a player has a stack like that, he bets 600, he pushes 600 in red in. Now your dealer has to count all
Right.
600. So it slows down the game.
Right.
But if you have someone that is good chip management and they raise 200 and throw 2 black out there and keep that just for looks, it's no problem. I don't mind them having it. There's certain players that anytime they get chips like that, I just place a rack and say, hey, hand me 500
Smart.
red, and I color them up. I bring
Sure.
them either 500 in green if they like a lot of chips. I'd like to bring them just 500 in black. Real quick, or a blue chip, $500 chip. But there are certain players, like especially Hugo. He's great with chip management. They're not messy. They're countable stacks
Right.
of 20. The top ones are countable stacks of 10. I can
Right.
see that right there.
Easily.
And so look, he's raising to at least 50.
Uh-huh.
So 80.
Right.
So he put 30 on top of the 50 stack, raised it out there. He's
Very
manageable
simple.
with those. Now,
And that's really just the experience level.
Yes.
How well-versed are you in handling the chips?
and I don't know where I was going with that, but that's kind of the place.
From
that
a
I
floor
pick up.
perspective,
Yeah,
very, very
but
interesting,
From a,
yeah.
from a player's perspective, that's where I was doing with it. From a player's perspective, it's if you're sitting in seat number 5, where Mario is, and seat number 3, Hugo, places a bet, and you look back there and you look at how many he's got a massive amount of chips in front of him. It's intimidating,
Right.
Because you know if you call
Right.
that, the next bet's going to be just as big, if not bigger. And look at this, he's got pocket 10s now.
And now he's got pocket 10s. Just can't get him off a hand. This is
This was like 3
is
weeks ago when he won
excellent.
3,900. You know, it's just massive hand after massive hand. After massive hand.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Jade's got trip 3s.
And
Didn't even see
Trade
that.
hit the set, bottom set. Probably not too worried about
And
it.
look at
I
that.
think.
She throws 120 out there like it's nothing.
She does, and still chewing on that flosser there. Great look, I think. I will say that I personally am intimidated by people who are just appear to be absent from the table. You know they're sitting there, but their mind is somewhere else, and I'm always worried, where is their mind, and how many calculators are in that room with their mind? So with Jade just chewing on it, glossy eyes, not paying attention to the game, knows exactly what she's going to do, calculated with it. That's intimidating to me personally. Hugo, I don't think is too worried about it, but his pocket 10s are not even top pair or even second pair. He's got now a queen on the turn, so he's probably a little bit worried. What are the odds Jade hit a queen, or maybe she had a jack this whole time, which would beat his 10s. I don't think he's too worried about any kind of flush opportunities, though. Jade bet a little too high to signify that she has a flush, and Hugo does make the fold.
She shows one card.
She shows a 3.
And then she shows it. Does she show it? She just shows.
She showed, and then she flipped him over and
Oh,
showed
she
the other
flipped
one.
them backwards.
That's
so-
interesting.
Okay.
Interesting way to show it.
She is colorfully creative with
That
what she
is.
does. So you know how we talk about like when Billy plays the PLO, how good he is
Yeah.
at it. She is of that caliber. She has zero fear when it comes to playing against men in a game
Right.
that involves balls.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well-
I use that, and the only reason I use that term is because poker.
You need the huevos.
Yeah, when you start seeing the 3 bets, the 4 bets, and the
Yeah.
5 bets,
Right.
it does take balls to call
Right.
that. You know, guts. I guess that's a more television.
Yeah,
appropriate
sure, right.
term.
Yeah, it's gender friendly. Thank
Yeah,
you for
oh,
that.
yes,
It's 2022. You know, we gotta. No, but you're absolutely right. I mean, you can know the poker math inside and out. You can know the odds, and you can dictate every single situation. But if you don't have the guts to pull the trigger, then all that math doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And all that strategy goes out the window if you're not brave enough to do what you need to do.
And I've seen her fold a set, top flop set, because the board was 8, 9, 10.
Wow.
And she leads out and bets $500. She gets raised $3,000.
Yeah.
And she lays down the top set, and the guy's got the nut straight.
Not straight. Yeah, no good, no good. Yeah, those sets always get me in trouble. Sometimes I'll go set mine,
Yes.
and I don't hit my set, and then I get real ballsy, a little ballsier than I need to be, and then I don't fold. To somebody else.
Other day it was pocket jacks versus pocket threes versus pocket deuces last night.
No.
Flop comes out 9, 3, deuce.
Wow.
So jacks have an
Oh,
overpair.
Wow.
Skittles on the colors because
Yeah.
it was a rainbow
Doesn't
flop,
matter,
heart,
sure.
diamond, club. But it was set versus top pair versus next one. Join us in the booth right now, Baby Boy
We
Cruz.
got
What it
BBC.
He's setting, yeah, BBC, and we
What's up,
don't
man?
mean the normal BBC.
That's me. That's me.
So what we got, Cruz is not. He elected not to play the live stream because he's playing Clyde's Remembrance game.
That's
the
right.
5 on the button, Big O. How's the action on that table?
It's pretty good.
Pretty crazy. It got a little crazier now with seat 9 filling in Billy.
Well, Billy Jones, the GOAT himself.
Yes.
Everybody knows Billy Jones.
Look at that, Miss Jade's back in the house.
This game looks pretty good. This is a
Okay,
decent lineup.
Hugo gets aces, skips a hand, and so it's aces versus kings. Flop comes king, turn comes ace, so he wins that hand.
Okay.
2 hands later, he gets aces, wins that hand. 2 hands later, he gets pocket 10s, but Jade has pocket 3s, flops is set.
Set.
So Jade is. I was telling George about Jade.
Do people not know Jade here?
No, he doesn't.
She's
They
like
do.
a wild card.
She's a wild card.
So,
She's a wild
so
card.
describe Jade in one sentence as a poker player.
Uh,
PG.
I
just kidding.
gotta keep it PG.
PG-13.
She's a wild card that could do some hot damage.
In
She's running hot.
that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him it's neat to see girls that have huge balls when it comes to playing high limit games with guys. She's got
Yeah.
she's probably got six balls with her when she comes. She's not scared.
She's not scared at all.
I love it.
She can put that pressure and that gas.
And
And she's
sometimes-
been running hot lately too.
And she had a
She's been
huge
running
bluff.
hot.
She goes, Charlie, you're not in the live stream booth. And I said, no, I'm fixing this. And she goes, well, then who's commentating on my huge bluff? and I said, George is in there doing it. But she was really proud.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know
let
what
it
the
slip
bluff
by.
was. But I mean, it's crazy. Here we go. We got a little computer glitch. We don't see what their cards are.
If she doesn't go bust, I think she's gonna have like the biggest stack, 3-4K.
So there's already
Already.
over 2,000 in several stacks.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
It's
500 to
1,000.
1,000.
Why is this game so lit?
It's lit
We,
tonight.
we,
man.
we did we did
Lit.
500 to
How do
1,000.
we get on that list?
That's because they're afraid of you.
No.
So we did lose a quick internet connection here with from the tablet to us. That will be back up after this hand. So we will guess what Hugo has. You
Whoa,
know-
we got an all in already.
oh Lord. Okay, so now we really.
So now
need
we
to
really
guess.
need to guess. It could be aces, it could be kings.
Did Hugo go all? No.
Yeah, Hugo, I think, went all in. No, Mario?
I see chips out in
It
front
looks
of
like Mario went all in, but I don't see any cards in front of him. But I do see Homeboy with
Hugo's
a
struggling.
tough decision.
And,
I
and
would
we know
say-
if it's Mario, he's got over $1,000.
Oh yeah, and we also know if it's Mario, he's not going in naked. He's gonna have. You can see the flop there does have a little bit of paint on it, so we can bet Mario's either got top pair or an over pair is what I'd be willing to bet.
Hugo's probably got a pair with a straight draw, a pair with a flush
Right.
draw. Of course, we're just blind commentating here.
Yeah, we can't even really see the cards.
And
but
he
Hugo gets
folds.
out of there.
And Mario never shows.
Wow.
His philosophy: you didn't pay to see him, you can't. See
You
him.
can't see him. And I've played with Mario a couple times. I have never been able to coax a show out of him. And you know me. I table talk. I try to get it out of there. I try to get as much information as I can for free. Mario does not want to give it up. But he's very polite about it. He's a gentleman. He actually is one of my favorite players to play against. He wears the hat. He wears the sunglasses. His demeanor is just cracks me up.
So, I'm gonna try this. Thank you to the unnamed player that brought this to us.
Ah, yes.
Firestone and Robertson Distilling Company TX Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 45% alcohol,
Looks-
90 proof.
90 proof. Looks good.
How is something 45% alcohol but 90 proof?
That's the proof is double the percentage.
Well, then that makes
Yeah, so-
mathematically perfect sense.
100 proof would be 50%.
All right, so
So it's a little stronger than normal. Typically,
I
you'll see
kind of wish it was a champagne bottle, so
a
it
champagne
pops.
pop.
So the listeners at
I'll
home-
make the sound. Ready?
Yes, hold on. I don't even know. That's the hardest wrapper that I've ever had to open.
It's not easy. I'll attest to that. And
It may do it. Here we go. Ooh, I just grew some hair on my
ooh, that
chest.
smells sweet.
We've
It's
got-
got a very caramel smell.
We've got the numbers. I mean, the numbers back on the screen.
I
We've got the cards back on the screen.
I gotta pick up my fiance at the airport, so don't pour me.
Oh
too
no,
much.
no, no! Oh,
Okay,
just
good.
2 glasses.
Okay, good.
Just one finger. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. That sounds perfect.
I like me some scotch. Scotch.
Oh,
Makes me
man.
think of Anchorman.
Scotch.
All right, here's to another fun night at Kojak's Poker Club.
Always a good time.
Oh, I don't know if I can do this.
All right, I'm gonna drink a shot for every second that you make a face after you drink it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I would die.
Did you smell it yet?
It smells good.
5-3. Rob's gonna
Yeah,
win.
I guess I got more hair on my chest than you do. Huh?
Oh,
Ooh, that's sweet.
yep.
Sweet. It's spicy. It's fiery. That's a good bourbon. I'm gonna have to try that out.
That's yours. Yeah, that's yours. You're taking that home with you.
Okay. Well,
No, don't.
I ain't gonna complain about it. Yep. 7, 8.
No,
Nine.
no, got it.
I'm kidding.
That was rough. Oh my gosh, that was rough. Let's go back to my HTO.
Oh man, yeah, the old HTO, huh?
Look at that.
2.8K for Hugo. Now we've already seen Hugo drop down by about $500. He was over the
It was
3K.
that all in hand.
That's what it was.
The aftertaste is better than the straight taste.
I love both.
Because it's got that like a little cherry sweet
Yeah.
following it.
Oh,
Almost like a mesquite cherry.
people make fun of me because I just drink out of the bottle.
I can drink Jaeger out of it.
Yeah. Well, Jaeger.
I like
classic.
black licorice.
Classic.
My favorite liqueur is Tawaka.
Ooh.
You know, when people take Tawaka lemon drops, sugar,
I-
and they sugar it, they dip it in the lemon, juice,
Uh-huh.
and they put sugar on the rim, and then one shot, it's called lemon drop. I will order a glass of Tawaka, and they look at me, and I'm like, yeah, sip it.
That's
I
it.
mean, it's good.
That sounds amazing, actually. I may have to try that next time
Tawaka?
Tawaka.
T-A-U-C-A.
Tawaka.
Say, that sounds like Fozzie
Tawaka.
Bear. Say it again.
I feel like I sound like Beavis. I guess this bourbon's hit me a little
All
quickly.
right. Hit me again, bartender. We're on hand 13. Next shot. So I'm trying to figure out how we've got to raise to $40 with 8-7 versus King 3, 7-5, 8, 6,
We
and
we have
5-4.
had a spicy game so
I
far.
love it.
I love that these players are not afraid to get out ahead of it. We saw earlier while you were out there, I believe, setting Jade up. It was a $15 raise, re-raised to 130. 11x, and I was just like, that's typical of Texas poker.
Yes,
It's
it
just
is.
great to see on this live stream, because a lot of people I think get shy when the cameras are rolling.
So you're about to see our game get crazy.
This is going to be awesome.
And I'm not bringing politics involved, so
Okay,
let's
here
say
we go.
politics. But as the oil, J.P. Morgan just said oil could reach 195 a barrel by
Right.
December.
Oh man.
If that happens, West Texas will be insanely
Huge.
crazy, and this game right here will be our bad days of poker.
I believe it too. I saw maybe not the most credible forecast, but said $1,000 a barrel by the end of the year. So I mean, anywhere between 200 and 1,000 seems reasonable, I guess, for the AI computers or whatever calculates it.
Yes.
And Pete takes it down with his top pair. Jade
Ocho.
Jade can't be too upset about that. 7-5. You know when you're getting into a pot with 7-5, you are quickly getting out.
So we range anywhere from Josh with 250 to Hugo with 2.8 thousand.
Man, and if I were Josh, I'd be adding on. I'm actually pretty surprised to not see a lot of players add on.
He is different. He will not add a chip on until he loses every chip he has. And I've seen him come back from $100 to $1,500.
I played a tournament online recently, and you start out with 1,500. The blinds go up every 5 minutes or whatever, just typical stuff. I got down to 17 chips, and then I got up to second place. 17 chips was my low, so out of 1,500 for the starting stack. So I agree with that logic, is what I'm saying. You never know.
King 9, Ace King 9, James
Action
Ace
flop.
10.
Now-
However, Moses, new player in seat number 4,
Has the flush draw.
yeah, he's got the second nut flush draw because the King Ace is out there.
Right,
Jade's dodging a diamond.
right.
Moses
And-
looking for an 8 or 10.
Oh,
that should be
king.
it for Mr. Moses.
Now, if Jade would likely, I believe on the flop, she was trying to extract value from a king.
Mhm.
Now that the second king is out there, she's probably going to represent the king, and I
Yes.
think that's exactly what she did.
And
She shows the ace.
Yeah, you see what I mean? She's not afraid of.
I
money
love
in
how
that.
spicy she is.
Man,
She's got
she-
attitude.
She is diligently aggressive.
Yeah.
If that's
And
a way to say it.
psychologically aggressive,
Yeah.
too. Flipping over cards
I'm surprised she
willy-nilly.
didn't show the 10.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised she
Right.
didn't show the 10.
right.
But that leaves the player saying, did
Did she have ace king?
Yes.
Did she boat up on the turn?
Or did she have ace deuce? 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. 10-handed, no limit hold'em.
Love it. Yeah, this is probably my favorite to commentate. I do not like playing 10-handed, but watching it, you get to see some crazy
usually,
stuff.
like we were saying earlier, usually when you're 10-handed, you don't have a lot of action because people sit back and wait on your ace kings, your
Right,
ace 10 suited.
right.
But this table is, that philosophy is completely irrelevant to this table. They are just popping it. Corey's drinking his Mountain Dew. He's getting ready. I bet you he raises to 25 on this hand. They got a straddle to 10.
Just based on that sip alone.
25. He chugged it. He's ready.
He is ready to go. You see how fast he's walking to the trash can.
Oh, yeah, because he sees Richard shuffling up right here.
Richard, of course, one of my favorite dealers out here. Actually, the guy who I signed my membership with, coincidentally.
He's a good man.
He is a good man.
Look at this. Back in time. Here we
Here
go.
we go.
We're going to switch games back to No Limit Hold'em from No Limit Hold'em.
Yep. It looks like we're still playing No Limit Hold'em. Two cards on the table. Basil with his favorite hand, Jack 10. I can't see him getting away from that. What does he do? Does he call or does he raise it?
Jack 10.
He's going to raise it.
No, he'll call whatever's raised as long as it's not 100. So there's a raise to 20.
Yep.
A call. Let's see. What is Corey doing?
Jade.
Oh, he just makes the call.
Rob with the ace Quisha.
Nice Quisha. Tom got out of the way with 8 deuce. Corey,
Hugo
I see
with
why
the
he made
king
the call.
10.
Set mine.
Corey with the 44.
I like Moses' 97. Do not like Mario. Didn't like it either.
Yeah,
King
he didn't
3
like
gone. She gone.
She gone. We've actually got a lot of decent hands here. 6 ways to the flop. Not common to see 6 ways to the flop with
Look at this.
decent hands.
Deuce 4.
9, 4, 2.
9.
Well, what else is left in the deck?
Corey's 2 4s.
That's true. What it hit a set.
Flops a set of
Sure
4s.
does. Sure does.
Nobody's 9 7's the best thing that we see out there besides the pocket 4s, and Rob is going to lead
Yeah.
out. Options on him. Checks to him with ace Quisha. Now, with the pocket 4s, do you call or do you raise here?
I would 100% of the time I would call because somebody else, when you're 6 ways to a hand, you're probably going to get somebody else to raise on the flop especially. And so I agree with Corey's call right here.
Corey's call got Moses along the call because if
Right.
Corey raises right there, Moses releases.
Everybody else is out. Now you may see somebody else raise, which of course you're going to call as bottom set or middle set, as a matter of fact,
And-
or you're going to entice like exactly what happened, 2 more players to
Yep.
throw in their money.
He got $80 extra in the pot by just calling
Exactly,
right there.
exactly.
Because if he raises, hands over, no more action.
Ooh, and
Ace
he hits
of
an
clubs.
ace of clubs, which is a great card for Corey. Now
And
Rob
semi
Rob thinks that
and then
he's
he
trapping.
checks it. He semi bet bluffs
Yep.
when he has nothing.
Yep.
He hits top pair, top kicker, and
Yep.
he checks it. And Corey leads out with how much? 100, a buck and a squirt.
buck and a squirt. Moses does make the call with his pair of 9s
With a club draw.
and a club draw.
That's why he's still in there.
waiting around to see if he can get that
Now that's
club
scary
flush.
for Rob. That's scary. Look at that. He
Yep.
had down top
Wow.
pair, second kicker
Wow.
to a bet of 125.
Wow.
That, and we were talking earlier about
That
money,
was-
making money versus.
Yep.
Right there, he could have called that 125, been behind.
Right.
But he looks at that 125 that he just folded as a win,
Right.
and that's.
He lost the minimum.
He bingo.
Yep, he lost the minimum. Now Corey with the check mark bets 200. Moses probably gonna have a hard time calling with his pair of 9s.
Two
Yeah, he's
cows.
out of there. And Corey picks up tray 50. How much did he win from that pot? About tray 50.
Yeah, about tree 50. Tree 50. Is it an oak tree? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out and about, come join us at Kojak's for some Texas straight bourbon whiskey.
Yeah, we'll let you sample
Yes.
for free. If
Free
you come out
samples?
tonight, free samples in honor of Clyde.
Absolutely. You know, in all the time that I knew Clyde, I saw him take one shot.
Yeah?
Yes.
How did
And
it go?
he took that one shot straight to the trash can.
Oh, man.
He used to tell me about his younger days. He liked to drink in his younger days. Didn't like to drink at all. after
That's
that.
yeah. That's how it goes for some people. Some people are like that. My dad's one of them. He used to
Yeah.
drink like crazy when I was young, but then just kind of
Well,
stopped.
I think that's a dad story because that
Yeah.
was my dad too.
Yeah.
Loved him, but he liked beer.
Uh-huh.
Either beer or Jack Daniels, and he drank the hell out of some beer. But I had my first drink of alcohol when I was 9 years old. My parents used to have, you know how all the families in the, how old are you?
33.
Okay,
About to be
so
34.
All the families in the late 80s, early 90s had those little glass cups. that
No,
they-
I don't.
Okay. They would put ice and Dr. Peppers in them. Well, my cousin and I would run around playing, and I saw that there, so I grabbed it, and before my dad could stop me.
You didn't
And
know.
That was my first taste of Jack and Coke.
Oh, that's funny. That's classic drink, though. If you're going to start out with something, that's a great one to start out with.
JTN, adding on, and get down to
There we go. JTN finally adding on. You love to see it. Jade keeping the aggression factor real high. Bet 75.
This is the Kojak's Guess or Hand.
Love it.
If you guess it right, come in and let us know who you are. Put it in the chat, and we'll
Yep.
give you 2 free hours of cash play
We got,
if you can guess it right.
Yeah. Now, what if I guess it right? How are you going to deal with that, Charlie?
I'll give you 2 hours.
All right, I'll take 2 hours. Let's see. Well, then the pressure's on. She's going to go ahead and bet. I think she's got queens.
She's fired every street.
I think she's got queens.
I say she has Jack 10.
You think she's got 2 pair here. Now, Corey with a decision with his top pair, top kicker. Now, she may have 10 deuce. She could actually have 10 deuce. I would put her on that.
Choctaw Nuts, Jack Deuce.
Under the gun +1, yeah, Jack deuce.
That's the Choctaw Nuts. Is she going to show it?
Let's see if she shows it. Moses makes the fold. He guessed correctly. And we're going to manually put him in.
I say Jack 10.
She hands it
You
over.
said Queens or what?
I think it may have been a bluff. Let's go with ace 9. I think she was barely better than Moses. And
I was not
we
going to show
didn't see it. Hey, what was that last hand? He said he couldn't say. Couldn't say. Man. Well,
Ten of diamonds, 6 of diamonds. That was 2 pair, right?
that was 2 pair.
Yeah.
That was 2 pair. At least I called that. At least I knew
Yes.
the hand's strength, not necessarily the numbers.
10 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds. Welcome out to all of our viewers. Thank you for joining us. I've been noticing that our viewing percentage on old videos, usually we'd have, 75, 100, 200, sometimes 500. We've been maxing out at 3,000 to 5,000 views
Woo.
on the week-old videos.
Love that.
So
Hey,
we put them up, and they are getting it. Jade straddling the 10 with the ace 6 of hearts.
and
something she
that's
doesn't
why
have.
that's
She
why
has no
people are
heart.
watching.
She doesn't have no heart.
She doesn't have no heart. She's got 2 of them in her hand, none in her chest. She is cold-hearted. I'll put it like that. But hey, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you checking out these streams. If you made it this long into the stream, we're about almost an hour and a half in. A little more than that.
We're on
we
hand
we
number.
appreciate it. Yeah.
There's another shot.
We've said hand 15 times. We've taken a shot each time.
There's a lot
I'm
of
kidding.
face cards out there. Ace, Queen, 10,
Lot of
Jack,
face
10,
cards.
Ace, Jack. We need to figure out a nickname for Ace Jack.
I used to call it the Amberjack back in the day.
Amberjack.
Lived on the
That's catchy.
coast.
Amberjack.
So, eating Amberjack is a really good dinner.
What is Amberjack?
It's a fish.
Okay.
It's not quite a flounder. I think it's related to a flounder, but it's kind of like a really tall, flat
So
fish.
it's not a lot of meat.
Tasty meat, though.
But
Tasty.
it's
meat.
not
You're
a-
right. It's
not a lot of
bony
meat. Okay.
for it's
That's what
bony
I was
for
trying
what
to
you
get
get. Yeah. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. Now that
Well,
I'm
no.
second guessing myself.
Jade's got a flush draw. She got the nut flush draw.
Jade doesn't have a heart, but she may make hearts at
A
the
pair
end
of
of his hand.
sixes with an ace.
And that's
Kicker.
not a bad place to be. Second pair on a board like that, actually really nice.
Whenever
It looks like
everybody has
everybody's
big
folding.
cards, everybody has face cards. Look at the board.
Yep,
7, 6,
that's how it
3
always
deuce.
goes. That's how it always goes. I was teaching a friend to play poker, and I said, sometimes it's more advantageous to have low cards, and he laughed at me.
Because
And I
you
said,
were in there with the big ones.
You know when people have big ones, if you have the small ones, you can counter them.
Yes. And nobody would see right there. If
Yep.
you're playing 4-5 for the straight 7 high,
Right.
if you're playing 3 deuce for 2 pair, nobody's going to see that. That's like set line
Exactly.
with sixes.
Yeah.
Ace king 6 comes on the flop. They expect you to have ace king before they expect you to have pocket 6.
Pocket sixes, exactly. Yeah, it's always, disguising your hand is a very key part of this game. Said nope.
All right.
Appreciate
Jade's got the towers building. 20 years ago, we'd call them the Twin Towers. Now, just out of respect, you can't call them that anymore.
That is a sign of the times.
Yes. All right, Jack 10. We've seen that almost every single hand.
Yeah.
So look at this.
This is the night of Jack
Jade's got
10.
7 deuce.
Love that.
Raises to $45.
Love that. Yeah, she's getting
Raises to
frisky.
$45.
But she's free rolling that $45. She has won the last every pot she's been in. I think she's won. She may have lost one, but I'm pretty sure she's won every pot she's been in.
So people.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
$40 from somebody else. Who
Yeah,
cares?
she's using seat number 3.
Right. Exactly.
So I lost my thought.
Uh-oh. I'm so sorry. I
No.
interrupted.
I'll get it back in a minute. Keep talking. I'll get it back.
Okay.
In a minute.
All right. Well, we got ace 8 of clubs. We got 2 hearts on the board, but only 1 club.
7
Does
deuce
she
off,
bet? She bets 150.
A count and a
Now,
calf.
I'll tell you a funny story. Last weekend when I played, I had 7 deuce, but it was suited, so I was a little bit better than Jade, and I made a big move and lost half my stack pre-flop because somebody went all in over my 7 deuce, and I was like,
So she
I
fired
can't-
45, 150. She checks the turn. Now she fires on the river.
"Oh
She's dead.
no,
She,
she
can't represent
is
the
so
ace.
dead." Yeah, Hugo also has 2 pairs, so he's not going to be able
But
to
she's
get off of
also
that.
capable of going over the top.
She's going to go over the top. I 100% expect her to, especially because Hugo has that big stack. But we'll have to see.
So Hugo's
Well,
new
she's
game.
made it this far,
She made.
and I believe
Look at this. Look at this.
she's trying to represent that she has like a set, I would imagine.
Look at this. Hugo.
Yeah,
gets
she's going over the
250.
top. Now, if she does 750 or more, I could see Hugo maybe getting away from this. But a $500 bet's probably not going to be big enough. Raising a call. He snap called, and
look-
she shows.
Yeah, she's not
She
afraid.
shows.
She shows it because
Oh,
now
it's so
that is
good.
in her arsenal.
Right.
And she
Now
she
the other
makes those.
players,
Yes.
yeah, are going to be questioning. And like I said, free roll the entire time. She free
And so
rolled.
what she just lost right there
Puts her
wasn't out of her pocket.
and she's still up 100 over
Yes.
what she bought in. So a great way to incentivize the table to call and really build value later on in the duration
And
of your game.
so that's what's dangerous about Jade.
Yeah.
She's not playing
Playing
for
the
that money that
psychological
popped.
game, yeah.
She's playing for the money in 45 minutes when she has the absolute nuts and
Exactly.
she raises 2 bets or 3 bets on the river, just like she did right there.
Right.
They have it in their head. She bluffed last time. She
With
made that same
7
bet.
deuce.
Yes.
Yep.
Not the worst hand in poker. The absolute worst hand in poker.
I know, it wasn't even suited. Oh man, yeah, but you got to love those strong plays, and you have to really respect that, and especially the like you say, the balls to turn it over at the end and
And
just
she's not even
show
afraid.
everybody.
She says, "Look, I tried to get the best of you, here it is, and you caught me." Rob with the old speed limit, followed by Hugo with
With the 22 club, I don't know.
yeah, Club 22. That'd be a cool club
22.
name.
I would go there. I would dance. Maybe for 2 hours, 2 days a week.
Mario looks down at the K9.
Love that. Love that. Basil with the 10-7.
I got nothing.
I got nothing too. That's why I looked at you.
I got nothing.
Well, he lets it go anyway. He didn't like it that much. Hey, what's a jack for? You know, I don't know. That's
Flat tire.
That's Josh's hand.
I like Pete's call. Pete makes the call.
Pete
Three
does
piece.
make a great doll with the suited dirty diaper right there.
Dirty diaper. I was trying to think of the name
That's
of that.
it, the suited dirty diaper. Jade close to the 7.4. If she
Hey,
had
what's the flat tire for?
Jack
Right
for.
there. Right there. Jack 4. Flops 2 pair.
Love that.
Josh knew what he was doing.
Love that. Yeah, Josh had a sense about it. Let's see if he bets. He sure does.
70 into a pot that
Big
was
bet.
$90.
Big bet for the pot size and for the number of
Easy
players.
math. You bet 7/9 of the pot.
Of course. The classic 7/9 rule. And Rob with the 5-5. Let's see if he sticks around. Sure does not. Neither does Hugo. Everybody else folds. So, in my opinion, I think that 7/9 was a little bit too high of a bet for that pot.
Yeah, because
He could have extracted a little more
with a German
value.
Shepherd, otherwise known as K9, looking for a queen.
Looking
or
for a
club.
queen.
Oh no, he didn't even come along.
And he does not come along. No, everybody folds.
3,400, 3.4 thousand. Now Hugo stuck. Look at that.
Just one player right
Oh,
there.
shake the table.
A sh-
When players get too
Shake the
cocky
table.
and they go one more full stack up,
Oh,
I always
man.
make it a point to kind of shake the table.
That's a good trick. I'll have to do that next time. Although I think you have more skill than me. I think you actually can get away with it. That's a good way to get some glares from other players.
So you just drop something when you come up, you accidentally hit it with your arm. Oh my bad, I'm sorry. Oh, let's see if Tom. Oh, Tom's not there.
Oh,
Let's
that's so
see
funny.
if Tom can play 7 deuces.
Seven
Good
deuce,
as-
probably not as good as Jade can.
I've seen her win a $5,000 pot with 7 deuce though, bluffing.
You know, it happens. It happens, and that's, man, it feels good. That is the reason personally, and I
that's-
hope I'm not giving away
That's
too much.
why poker is not gambling. It's
Right.
a game of skill.
A game of skill. If you can read the situation, you can read the room, and you can read the board well enough to bluff your way past 7-2, then that's skill. But my God, it feels so good when you get through a good bluff. To this day, the biggest pots that I've won have been bluffs.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Or when you're bluffing and you accidentally get there on the river.
Right. that has happened to me a couple times as well.
They're like,
And that
so you
feels
bet with
good, too.
nothing the whole way? Man, I knew it was
I
coming.
knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. I was playing the odds.
So
I was
do you like to
playing
hear
the
people
odds.
say, oh, I was playing it because my favorite hand, or I was playing it because I saw it hit a little while ago? Whenever people ask me, why did you play 5-3? Because I wanted to.
Yeah.
That was my $500 that I put into there.
Yeah, right.
And I took your $500 with it. Heads up action. 8 outs is all Hugo has.
and
he
Hugo,
does fold.
he says it's not good enough for me. Although it would have been interesting to see that river. He did actually have a pretty good number of outs.
8 outs. That's a lot of outs.
That's a pretty good number of outs. But with the pot odds, I think he had to make the fold there.
So
Sometimes you gamble. You get the implied odds going. You know.
6 of the 10 players over $1,000. Maximum buy-in for the table at the start was $1,000. So that tells you there is plenty of money to be won at
A lot
Kojak
of
tonight.
money on that table. This is a great night. Yeah, I was noticing. I guess there's something in the air here in West Texas. Drivers seem a little antsier than they have been.
It's called dust.
Allergens
Koichi.
have been getting
Koichi.
around a little more, and I think it's affecting the play at the table too, for the better.
I worked around. Are you familiar with all with the chemicals of the oil field?
I know the one that kills you.
Asbestos?
Yeah.
Okay. So I worked around a thing called FR, not fire retardant clothing.
Okay.
But it's called friction reducer. It's water activated. Well, I worked out in the gel plant, the blending plant, and it's a big 4 foot by 4 foot tote that's probably about 4 foot tall,
Uh-huh.
4 foot all the way around, and it's full of a white powder.
Ooh.
And I was joking with him, and I told him, "Man, if this was cocaine, this would be like $100 billion worth of cocaine." Unfortunately, it's called friction reducer. Well, it's all in the air. I didn't get around it, but the problem with it is it's water activated.
Oh,
so
I
when I
see.
took off my hard hat, my head was solid. It looked like worm sperm.
Oh wow.
And I
That's
took a
gross.
shower.
Yeah,
It
okay.
took 55. I almost shaved the beard. It took 55 minutes to get it out of my beard once water hit it.
Oh man, quite the surface. Yeah, you put a helmet on that, it just doesn't stick.
No.
Oh
So
man.
the Dirty Diaper versus the Queen 5 versus the Pocket 7s. Dirty Diaper is in the lead.
Dirty Diaper doing pretty well if a 5 comes.
Oh, just kidding. It's not in the lead. Pocket 7's way ahead of it.
I thought we had an ace on the board for some reason. I guess that bourbon hit me a little. It literally was
it was
one.
really good.
It was tasty.
It was
yeah.
one finger of bourbon.
Seriously, a small amount. Yeah, you're right. I did not see an ace on the board. If there were an ace, though, Josh would be pretty well and good.
Yes.
Of course, Hugo with his pair of 7s, though, looking pretty. Waiting to hit that jackpot, 777.
Yes.
And I can't believe that Hugo would get out of this hand. He does make the call for $100.
Ochoa put some money in.
Ochoa putting some money in.
I didn't even know Ochoa was in the hand.
He went broke.
No, Ochoa is in the hand. They're having to go back and correct it.
I
That's what
see.
they're doing. I couldn't see his cards because his hand were in front of him.
Right.
So we're heading over to the river. We'll have that. We're catching up the graphics.
Oh, no, the
and
river
profiles.
is an ace.
And I think Ochoa has an ace in his hand. I think that's where you saw it.
No, there is. Yeah, okay. So I'm not crazy. Ace 3, 4, 9 with an ace on the river.
Look at this. What a move.
And
with
Josh
a dirty
bets
diver.
250.
I want a call right here would be incredible reading skills by
Yeah.
the Ochoa.
It would be. It would be. Now, this is an incredibly underbluff spot, though. You talk about players bluffing on the river. It doesn't happen that often. Pete only has a pair of nines, really, to look at. Now, there is a flush possible on the board, so he's got to wonder, was Josh semi-bluffing or trying to inflate the size of the pot when that ace came on the turn?
I say he calls. He calls.
And
Once
he
you call.
does make
What
the
a
call.
stinking call.
Wow, what a read.
And look at this.
And
he's not
Josh... Oh,
showing-
man.
Wow. At the table. If
Josh.
you're sitting at the table and you see Ocho make that call, ESPN
Yeah.
Ocho. If you see him make that call, what do your respect level has to go up.
Way up. Now, by the same token, Josh, now, if I'm sitting at the table, I think this man is tilting
Yes.
like crazy. He went broke earlier, had to re-add.
Trying to make a move.
Trying to make a move, and it looks like he's chasing back to even. And now, if that has been the pattern, you expect that will continue to be the pattern. Oh, man.
So our bowling team is bowling. We're racing for first place. First place gets something like $20,000.
Okay.
There's about 5 college kids that go to UTPB, and they didn't know how to bowl at the beginning of the year, so they got a ton of handicap. Well, now they've learned how to bowl.
I see.
Now
All
they've
right.
learned how to bowl.
Oh, man.
Moses, under the gun.
How long have you
26,
been bowling?
Since I was 6.
I used to hang out at the bowling alley when I was in high school. That
Man,
was
everybody-
our game.
That was the cool place.
That was
to
our
go.
game.
That was the cool place to go. I hung out at the bowling alley because I bowled, but I'll show you this little video right here. When I say I bowled, this was a tournament. This is a championship match right here, and we're bowling for first and second place. You look up there, I've got 11 strikes in a row.
I love it. Here we go, 11 in a row. One left.
They call me Butter.
The setup is everything. Ooh, nice and smooth. Oh! You love that.
Look at my thumbs.
Okay, yeah,
fat
you got a
callus.
little, you got a little extra meat on the right hand thumb there.
So here we are once again, 6-handed. Welcome back to Kojak's Ace Queen Ace 3. If we see hearts, we could have fireworks. Tom and Corey have
Yeah.
big hearts.
Man, a lot of cards out there.
And ESPN de Ocho with Ace King raises it up to, it looks like 65.
Yep. No, I would love. You're right. I would love to see hearts hit
And
the flop.
Jade with 85 makes the call.
She's getting frisky.
Do you remember those T-shirts back in high school? No fear.
No fear.
You remember that?
I do. I do. Yep, that is Jade to a T. And now she's sitting good with low cards
And look at
on
that.
a low board.
She looks around before she checks it, and she middle finger
Yep.
gives him the middle finger
Yep.
when she checks
Yep.
it. I love it. Tom to Tom, bottom pair, top kicker.
Now, Tom is a great player to watch as well. Tom is very regimented while also having a lot of personality with the card selection
He
that he
reminds
plays.
me of the Mel Kim Kardashian because fashion means everything to him. You know, he's sitting there in the shirt buttoned where you
Yeah.
can see his 2 chest hairs.
Uh-huh.
The sunglasses, the 1 AirPod in to
Right.
act like he's not paying attention
Right.
on purpose.
Right. And the bleach white hat. you know.
Yes.
I was out at the golf field earlier today. I was
Yes.
putting a couple of holes.
Yeah,
and
I'll
no,
bring a
just,
12-pack on the back 9.
maybe I'll hang out and play poker. Maybe I'll see what it, maybe we'll see.
Pete with Ace King makes the call. Pete's now got the second nut flush draw.
Yes, he does. Yes,
And
he
you
does.
see he has 6 outs. The king of diamonds, the king of spades is gone along with the king. So he cannot hit a king. He has to hit an ace, which there's only 1 diamond, and then the rest clubs is what he's looking for.
Right. Oh, and there is 1 diamond that he hits, and it is not good enough. Tom's pair of 3s.
Now, if
Will
Pete's
win the
first
hand.
act, Pete's first act, if he fires at this,
It's possible.
Looks
and
like
he
he's
does
counting
bet
chips.
150. Yeah, it's possible he's going to get Tom off this hand.
Now here's
Tom, look at it. That's not Hollywood right there. That is
No.
actual, genuine stress.
That's anguish.
That is anguish.
Here's Tom thinking: should I transfer some Bitcoin, into
Right.
Dogecoin, or should I just go ahead and purchase some Shiba? Oh, he bet. Okay, I call.
Oh,
Nobody's
he
gonna fold.
gets away from
what
it.
a bluff! I
Wow.
wish we had some sound effects, ladies and gentlemen. That's the second big bluff night. Congratulations, Big Slick.
Couple
pulls
of
in the
big
win.
bluffs tonight. Couple
Yes.
of big bluffs.
Even big bluffs caught. Jay.
Yeah.
So Ochoa
And
moves
got
up into
caught
second
again.
place.
All right, love to see it. Now Hugo dwarfs. He's actually higher than the next two places combined in terms of chip stack.
So 34, that makes 64, 7,900 in the top four places.
yeah, 79, probably about 10K on the table total.
And you know what's funny about that is we talk about a lot of money being on this table. When I was out there a while ago, I walked by the Big O table, and like one player has that much. So Big O being a chop,
Yeah,
two
right.
game and one, the pots get bigger because almost every pot is going to be a chop.
It's going to
pot.
be a chop, exactly.
And so they play it a little harder, and they're more. When you're playing a pot limit game, when you're playing Hold'em, if somebody bets $75 and you have a draw, you're going to call it 75. But in PLO, you can have the draw and the backdoor draw,
Right.
so you're likely to pot it because you've got 27 outs.
Right, exactly.
Look at this. It
Basil
goes-
with the aces, only 3 bets to 35. I really like that
This is
bet.
how well Jade knows Basil. It didn't
She
matter.
gets
what
out of
had.
there.
It didn't matter what she
She
had.
gets out of there.
And Josh with the Kojak, Rob with Queens. Oh snap! Fergie-licious style. Oh snap! Pocket threes, Jack 10. Holy!
Rob's got a great pair of ladies going on.
We'll go backdoor to the Asian. Holy cow!
Holy cow! Something wrong right now. If you have threes or queens, not the best place to be when
Oh,
Basil
man.
has aces on the board.
Biden just got rushed to the hospital. For the last 7 days, he couldn't stop Putin. So we get 2 10s on the flop. That puts that Jack 10 in Moses' hand in the lead. I've been waiting all night to do that.
Oh my god. Yeah, and Hugo also hits trips as well. Couldn't stop Putin. Oh man, we're having a lot of fun. And I swear, only one finger
Yes,
of Only one
you will
finger.
tell that later, won't you?
Of course. You had me because you looked at your phone and everything. I was like, oh, jeez.
I hit my phone, and you know how hard it was to focus on that? Because the top one says, Texas Storm Chasers is premiering a video. Earlier today, large tornado chased by, hey, Putin went to the hospital.
That was
Or
the
not
first
Putin,
thing I
but
read,
Biden.
too. I looked at it.
So we've got trip 10s,
Oh, man.
9 high, trip 10s, jack high, pocket aces, and pocket queens. The
Oh, my
worst
God.
possible. The only other disaster we could see is if somebody had ace something of diamonds. Mario's
Right.
got the backdoor diamond
Right.
nuts, but it doesn't matter here.
Doesn't matter. No, Moses moves all in.
What is Moses has jack 10. Basil's
He's
gonna
got
have
the best hand.
Basil's
going to have to call.
And he
Basil
folds.
folds a disciplined fold. Wow.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Rob
give you
is
a
out of
standing
there.
ovation.
Rob is
folds
even out of there.
queens. Hugo bet 225. Moses moves all in. That tells him one of them's got a 10. That was a very diligent fold by Basil, and just as good.
I
by
think
Rob.
Hugo's going to call them. I wouldn't be able to get away from this
So,
personally.
so there is a huge chop percent chance in this.
That is true.
If the
That
board
is true.
pairs with a 7, and then anything over a jack come on,
Right. That is true.
and he makes the call. It looked like he says, "You
Makes
got a
the
10."
call.
He says, "Yeah, I got a
Yep,
10."
he's got the 10. That's a classic cooler situation, though. And they decide to run it one time. There's a king, so a
There's a
high
diamond.
possibility of chop.
Diamond,
oh.
diamond. No, somebody had a diamond.
Oh,
Somebody
4
had-
diamonds.
Nobody
No,
had a
nobody
diamond.
had a diamond.
Basil had the ace of diamonds went in the muck. Basil had a diamond.
Yeah.
Rob had a diamond.
That's what it was.
Holy cow!
Holy cow, what a hand. It could have been crazier, but thank
So,
God
that 5 on the river. Had that 5 come a queen, a king,
Right.
or an ace, it would have been a chop.
it would have been a chop.
Oof.
Goodness. Yeah, Moses picking up a cool $1,000 just about.
1,800
In
in that
profit.
total pot.
Big
Moses,
pot.
look how serious he is. He actually cracked a smile.
You'll
Cool,
love to
calm,
see
and
it.
collective.
You'll
Hugo-
love to see it.
Hugo, all he had to do was just pass over just about 700 chips.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Nothing too
Hugo
crazy.
gets knocked off his 3.4 throw.
Right.
He gave 900 away.
Yep.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too crazy. You think? I believe he bought in for 1,000.
Yep, he's
so
still up 15.
He's still up 15. He's more than doubled his money. He's probably not hurting.
And
Although
he
you
wants
can
some-
kind of see him steaming a little bit, looking around with his eyes.
Look at his cheeks. He's got a little rosy
He's
cheeks.
got a little rosy cheeks.
He's got a
Yep.
good beard. He's in the cool beard club.
Jealous.
Moses has a good beard too. Mario has beard. Corey has it. So welcome to West Texas where you have beards.
I think Basil has a beard under there. What do you think? You
No.
think he's got it shaved?
No, he's clean faced.
Clean
You've
face.
never watched any of his Instagrams.
He showed me
TikToks?
his Instagram the other day when
Oh,
I was playing last week.
His TikTok is just as wild and crazy as
He
that.
is nuts. He in the best way, I mean.
Yes,
Yeah.
Basil is his own man. That's the
Yes.
best way to say that.
Yes.
So his TikTok is Poker Face Superman.
Poker face Superman, everybody. Check it out. Yeah, this is what he was showing.
And
me.
he does have a little chin strap,
He's got a little chin strap. See, I told you he wasn't clean shaven.
and he is
Man, he
always. I couldn't even tell you how many videos this guy has.
He told me over 1,000 on Instagram.
So on TikTok, I didn't mean to do that, but on TikTok it's just nonstop. I couldn't even imagine how many views he has on this.
Man.
And Basil is who he is. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And you know
Yeah, he
he's
really is.
Superman, Pennywise, Superman.
Yes, exactly. Same.
Is that the mask he's wearing tonight?
No, not tonight, but that was what he was wearing the other night. That's funny. Oh, yeah, brother. He's got the anime haircut.
Cool guy. Chico versus Jade, and I saw
Yeah.
a lot of 175 in the pot. Jade, Queen 8, she's not going to try to bluff it. She's
No, not this time. She does get out of
10-8.
there.
I'm sorry, I can't see.
10-8. 10-8 of hearts.
It looked like Queen. My contacts are a little blurry.
There,
It's not
maybe
the
the glasses will help.
it's not the bourbon. Not the bourbon.
Not yet, anyway.
Right.
Not yet.
So we are sitting at 9:59.
59. We got 1 hour left on, I believe, right? We go until
Yes.
11. We got 1 hour left on this. We're only at hand 14. Uh-oh, shoot, I said it.
Not that one finger. Hand 14, that is
That
not
is not correct. No, it's not correct. But officially,
Jade's
that's
digging
where
in
we're
there,
at.
getting some extra chips out of the cleavage.
Whoa, wait a second. You don't want to see chips in there.
So is she drinking out of the same straw she was chewing on?
That is likely. That is very likely.
You notice girls in high school used to do that? Chew
Chew
their
on
straw
the straws.
into a
Oh,
little
my
circle
God.
and
And
pull
it
it
would
back.
be, yeah. And then flip it over after after it was too raw, too chewed.
I wasn't interested in ladies. I was interested in getting the cherry Twizzlers, biting the ends off and getting the drink out of there.
How old were you?
Oh, man. I'm 42. I'm an old man.
Okay. I hope in high school you were more interested
Oh, no.
than Twizzlers.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That was more or less the 5th grade when we started.
Yeah, that
started
makes
riding
sense.
Because that's when we started riding the buses.
Oh,
and they started
man.
putting the pressure. Kiss her.
Right.
Those were back in the good days.
Yeah, I remember in 5th grade, Warheads were currency. You remember those sour candies?
My gosh, I haven't
You
used to
could-
buy the big tin of
Yeah.
them at Sam's.
Yeah.
For like
You could get
$9.
anything you wanted if you gave a kid some Warheads. Hey, let me cheat on that test. Okay, give me 5 lemons and 2
Yes.
blacks.
What the heck we got going on here? A whole lot of
Wow,
eights.
we
a
got
whole lot of diamonds.
almost everybody in the hand this time. Corey's got trip 8s right now. Nobody has a queen though, so I don't imagine anybody's really gonna
Rob's
call.
got the second nut diamond. The nut diamond is gone, but Rob
Yeah,
got the second
Rob
draw.
Rob could hang on to that. Jade gets out of there with the nut diamond, and Rob, I'm surprised stuck around. Although I can see it,
Rob is so
Rob
disciplined.
does get out of
He
there.
is so-
I was about to
He's
say
profitable.
I'm surprised to see Rob stay in there because
Man,
the
I
odds-
raised that.
100%. 100%. Yeah, and then well that's what I do is I bluff pretending to hold the hand that the other player is actually holding.
100% of the time when I'm bluffing, they're holding the hand that I'm representing.
Yeah, exactly.
100% of the time.
I did that last weekend actually, and the guy had quads.
Oh, that reminds me of Mr. Chris Carter playing this. I've seen him make 2 massive bluffs in
Yeah.
this game. One massive bluff, she's holding quads. The other massive bluff, she's holding the nuts.
It's
And I'm like, man, Chris, pick your
oh,
spots.
pick your
better."
spots. Yeah, you
And
will.
so those 2 bluffs would have 100% of the time worked had they not been holding the absolute
the
nuts.
absolute
Yes.
nuts. Oh man, you hate to see it. That is exactly that's the story of my life though, and I feel like a lot of people play the same way. I feel like there's a lot of that. Oh man. Yeah, and it's just you never know what you're going to run into, and that's why a lot of people will watch poker streams or the televised poker or whatever, the WSOP or the European variation, and wow, that guy bluffed, but of course he bluffed because the other guy didn't have a pair. Well, it's easy to see that when you can read the cards on the screen, but when all you can go by is somebody else's eye movements, it's a little more tricky.
And there are some massive piles of chips
Massive stacks
on
out there.
Look at this on that
Woo!
big O table
Woo!
right now.
This is a big night here at Kojaks, and like you were saying, I think they're only going to get bigger from here. It's springtime, so people are going to want to get out.
Tax season.
Tax season, refund checks are coming in. Oil prices are just skyrocketing. Inflation is crazy, so the $5 on the button is not even worth $5 like it was a year ago.
No, it's worth $3.50.
Yeah.
At least it's not worth what the ruble's worth right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. We had I was watching the news the other night, and the anchor called it a rubble.
A ruble. Yeah.
And so I was joking, like the ruble is basically rubble now.
I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and I was saying, you know what I should do? I should buy a currency exchanger, and I should buy $2,000 worth of the ruble.
Yeah.
They have it maxed at $100 purchase right now.
Wow.
Every currency
You
exchange,
can't-
that's all you can buy
can't
is
buy
$100.
it. Oh man. Yeah,
Which
maybe
is
it's for the
smart.
best. It's smart. Maybe it's for the best. It just kind of seems like everybody's cutting off the Russian economy. So.
Yeah. I read earlier, we're not going into politics, but read earlier that Putin said what is it called? The sanctions that we're putting on them?
Yeah, he's
He
making
said
threats.
if they get any more serious, he's going to consider them an act of war.
He's
So.
making threats. Yeah, it's
He's a scary guy, though.
he's a scary guy. Yeah.
KGB 1991.
He's
all
a
the way
scary
to-
guy.
yeah, he's a scary
You're
guy.
never ex KGB.
No.
Just like you're never ex CIA. I hope nobody takes offense to that.
So
but
if you're
that's my
listening to
opinion.
this, CIA, please take it easy. On
Please
our
take
folks.
it easy. I know you're watching me already. What's up,
Yeah.
Officer Smith?
Officer Smith. Only 2 players now below $1,000.
A lot of money on that table, and we're 10-handed too. So that's at least $10,000 just by that simple math right there.
Oh, Crystal's back there saying, "Bring it."
Bring it. And Monica's talking about breakfast burritos. That's making my tummy grumble.
Monica is decked out pretty in pink today.
Pretty in pink. Yeah, she. You know what? I hate to throw favorites around there, but she may be my favorite dealer.
That's my favorite part of every night that I get to commentate with you. They're all your
They're
favorites.
all my favorites.
So we're on
honestly.
hand number 16.
Yeah, technically. Take a shot. One more finger.
So we're gonna go ahead and throw 60 on there because it's holding. We've been going for 2 hours, at least 30 hands an hour.
Oh my God.
So we look for 24 hands every 30 minutes and hold them.
That
Of course,
sounds
the live
about right.
stream's a little bit slower, so it's going to take a little bit longer.
Right.
But,
Right.
that's
a lot
what
more
we look for.
Hollywood going
Yes,
on.
and you saw that. Some people like to take 7 deuce and turn it into quads. It doesn't work all the time. It works some of the time.
It worked last time for Jade, but not quite as much for Rob.
We make a good pair.
I think so,
we
man.
should be like Mike and Ike.
You know what? I call Mike.
I'll take it. So what's funny is back when I worked at Baker Hughes, we had 3 Mikes as bosses in the offices, and one of them went by Ike. Mike
Yeah.
Ike.
That's awesome.
So we called him Mike Ike.
Oh, that's too funny. I'll be left Twix if you want to be right Twix. I feel like that's probably
Yes.
it's a good even
So
distribution.
what game
there.
do you think she's playing on her phone right now? Sideways, usually Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans Classic. Let's see. Sideways. It could be. Golly, what is it
She could
called?
be watching. Well, no volume.
House. What's that house game? Where you have
The Sims.
a block of whatever and you can put in stores.
I don't know that one. Amberjack versus.
We got the Amberjack.
Two pair.
AJ. No, yeah, it could be Clash of Clans. Yeah, maybe she's playing some street racing game. She seems like a street racer.
She's a Harley rider.
a Harley rider, huh? I bet you she's also got a pink
We're not picking
S2000.
on Jade tonight. Don't think we're picking on Jade.
No,
Just
no, no,
happens to
she's
be in the
great.
Camera, 95%.
Yeah. We're not complaining. Trust us.
Look at that. She throws. It looks like 100 out there. Quick call. She shows her 2 pair. Queen 5.
Queen
Basil's-
5 takes
Basil's hot run comes to an
it. Comes
end.
to an end.
And
not-
he thought about showing her the second card.
Yeah.
He showed the ace.
Yeah, he showed the ace. That's good enough, though, honestly.
2, 6, 1800, 15,
Wow.
14, 13, 13, 12, 11.
Josh with
550,
only
and 225.
225.
One double up, he's even with Basil.
Yep.
One more double up, he's even with the next place 11. That's kind of crazy. 225 doubles up, 550 doubles up, 1100.
1100. That is nuts. Yeah, I sat down at the table the other day online, and first 3 hands that I played, I doubled up 2 of them. I was like,
So you can't win them all.
what
unless
is
you win the
going
first
on?
one.
Yeah. Oh man, it was too funny. I think I had ace king on the first one, blank on the second one, and then I think it was something stupid like 7-9 suited, and I pulled off
When
2
you're
pair.
running hot.
Yeah.
So when you're running hot, you have confidence.
Right.
And you
And
tend
that's
to tell
how
your
you-
other hand
yeah,
yes. And
exactly.
then it's a snowball effect. You just
Right.
roll it and roll it and roll
Right.
it.
That and your table image too. Other players
Yes.
think, oh man, this guy's running hot. I'm not going to mess with him
So
or her.
what's the odds of getting pocket aces in a poker game?
You know, I meant to ask you that. What is it? 1 out of 186?
221.
221. Yeah.
So what are the odds to get back-to-back pocket aces?
Oh man, I don't even want to calculate that.
I think it's 221 squared.
That sounds about right.
I think it's 221 because the odds of getting
That sounds like, and I'm not a math genius, but that sounds like the formula would be correct.
So in the chat, seat 8 may be increasing the rating. Absolutely, that's a little behind the time. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that earlier. So in the chat, if you can tell us what's the odds of getting pocket aces back to back to back?
3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Would that be
If you
cubed?
can
I
get-
guess it would be cubed.
I don't.
Or would it be
honestly
to the
know.
4th? It would either be to cubed or to the 4th. I don't know. Well, hello.
Going to whatever y'all want to hear.
You weren't here. A couple weeks ago, I bought a Ninja.
Motorcycle?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
I know, man. Very excited about it. Was riding it around today in the wind, but definitely a good time.
So out here in West Texas, I'm sure you've heard that. Be cautious on a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we
It
go.
scares the hell out of me.
Pocket aces versus kings. Man, what the heck?
He is the Basil. We love it.
He's like a wrestler.
Nicest guy.
The
yeah.
Basil.
He is the Basil.
Everybody,
Nicest
they
guy.
ask me, what's your name? I tell them Charlie Whittle. You ask Basil what his name is? Basil.
The
He-
Basil.
He's like Cher. I mean, he's on a one.
He's
like,
like Cher.
Yeah, he's like
He
Cher.
really is. He really is.
Look at this. Jade made that call
Or Bono.
$130 with 4 deuce.
Jake,
$130 with
I
4 deuce.
love the aggression, and I love that it's